Where's this freaking guy? Jeez, it's just like nothing's going on. He's walking around doing a thing with all that stuff. Boom. Oh, look at this. All nice back. Feeling good. Where's my thingy though? There it is. There we go. Let's refresh a chat. Let's refresh a chat. Let's refresh this chat. Refresh them chats. There you go. I love it. How's it going? Toot toot. So it's your BFF, your best Frank forever, back again for another day of doing hard good times. To help the stream, I figure do less video stuff with the video, meaning not video background, not video sideways thing. Like, let's let it be easier to deal with, right? So backgrounds are now just still images for a bit. Why not, right? I got that going on. All right, there we go. What is this video? Chat. Oh, I get it. Okay, cool. Multi-stream. There we go. Let me throw a thing in the chat. And then I got to go share this video. You should do the same. Let's throw Skeletor in there. There we go. All right, let's check this multi-stream out. There we go. That's that. I'm going to go, let's throw some mirror magic on there. There you go. And let me go share this thing. Because that's what you got to do. You got to share the things. Otherwise, you know, what are we all doing, right? You gotta let people know what you're up to. You gotta let them know you're out and about. You gotta let them know that you're starting. Copy link, share, more options. Share to a page, share to a group. It's so obnoxious, right? I wanna share to my page, not any other thing, right? So whatever, copy the link. We'll go to my thing. Now it's me. Oh, I see why. So now I'll be me. See, now I'm me. Okay. Share now, public. Share to your story. Perfect. Share the story. That's good. And then let's get that conformed. And that wonderful. Share now to the public. Lovely. All right. And then, okay, great. Oh, send in Messenger. You want to send it to anybody? Probably not. All right. So let's get the heck on with it. What do we got going on? Oh, I just saw Carrie was on there. That's nice. Oh, look, I got some friends. That's fun. Oh, I heard a bazing. What happened? What happened? Oh, I shared the stream. Look how nice. It tells you that Frank shared the stream. I got to make a new alert for that. I just fixed all the alerts, but now I got to make new alerts. All right, whatever. I want to test an alert. Here, wait, let's do it. Good times. I made custom alerts. All right. Main drag. There I am. And then let's get things moving along, right? Moving. YouTube's up, so that's fine. And I'm just going to try and control things from this thing right here. I put it on the remote, right? So let's see if the remote works for us a little better as I go over to the other side. Want to see what we did the other day? Let's go take a look. What's this one say? Bird. There's the bird. All right, let's go see what's on the old bird cam. Get that out of the way. Oh, is bird cam at a different angle? I think it is. Should be the right way. Let's move this. Get out of the way. Move that. Get out of the way. All right, I did actually go and set things up. Yes, this is very much correct. There we go. There we go. Just very close up. So we drew all of our delicious foods yesterday. Delicious, delicious foods. All right, blue plate special, getting done, right? So now we're going to draw the background for that later. I did some math, and what we got to do now, what I got to do is I need to draw, I'll show you in mirror mode, I'll show you doodle too. All right, so let's find the mirror. Let's find the mirror, and then this guy that I'm doing, let's find All right, that thing. So that's what I'm popping up. All right, and I gridded it out so it'd be easier. This is the original restaurant from 100 years ago on Broadway, so pretty great. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna get that up and moving. All right, and then back to the bird cam, and bird cam. I'll show you. I doodled out a little bit of it, right? Or I doodled it out just to see. All right, and this was just when I first got the job, where I was just doodling some things out on just, you know, computer paper. So there we go. I might have to move the camera up, it looks like, just because you're not gonna be able to see much of this action unless I do it. So let's hoist you up a bit. Let's hoist you up. Hang on, hang on. It's a hell of a ride. Look at my tattoos. Look at my tattoos. There we go. Any higher? Gotta get higher. All right, it's pretty good, right? How's that? A little more. See, anybody able to see more? I'm going backwards on this. There we go. I think it's because, oh, that's fine. So now you'll be able to see a lot more of the project, because I gotta go sneak it here, right? And then pull this down. All right, where's that cam? All right, good. So here's the bottom. So that's what we're dealing with. Okay, let me try and straighten this out. All right, so that's what we're dealing with. And I'll straighten this out and I'll move it over. Here, I just put my. So I have an applause sign here, which makes no sense that it's facing me and on this side of things. But maybe I should integrate it into stuff. We're going to move that and move him for a second. Move the camera. Hang on. Settle down, camera. Does this guy fit under here? Does he fit? Not by a hair. Does he fit? That's weird. Okay. How can one side fit and the other can't? This will actually maybe give me a little more light. Now I can move this thing freely. There we go. Center you up. Get centered. Let's shed some light on the situation as well. 2, 3, there we go. All right. Now we're centered, and we can slide back and forth a bit. So that'll make things good. All right. And where am I? So this is the top where I'm at. So it's this panel. And you know, like I said, I'm trying to get it so that. So if that's there, that's good, and then this goes to here. All right, so that's pretty good too. This is about the bottom. All right, good. So let's get cracking. All right, so I'm only working on, you know, because you measure these things out. So originally, when I started doing this, I was going to make, you know, you play with these panels, and what you got to do is, so switch that, multi-stream that. There we go. All right, let me also make sure I'm not anywhere else, right? There we go. I'm gonna get out of here. And go. Okay. Sorry, I'm just messing with some things. Get my view up. Fixing my chat window. Oh, can't make that chat window disappear. Oh, there we go. That's how you do it. And embiggen and get my reference out. Okay. Whoop. Nope. Bring it on back. There we go. Oh, April, what's the scoop? How's it going? Bad internet? I'm afraid I hate when you have bad internet. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out though and saying hello. It's always nice when someone just drops by. I love it. If you're not busy and just don't want to watch it, you could do what's called lurking. And that just means you leave it on in the background and you can even mute it. It just counts. It counts to the algorithms. Ooh, but who cares? All right. Plus, I'm making a bunch of funny faces. I don't even think you can see me because, yeah, you can't. I'm doing all this stuff for you, April. Ooh, yeah, I'm making funny faces, doing all that stuff. April, you're the best. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for saying hello. All right. So let's go back to that. And I got that going. Here's my pencil. Here's this. Some ugly shadows. Ugly, ugly shadows. Maybe that helps. Okay. So you can't see it, but I've got like a grid going, right? It's just very, very light so that I can easily erase it. You know, and I've got my other doodle drawing That is that. So that's a good amount of reference for me too. I mean, it's almost where it would fit if this was the whole bottom panel. And that's what I was initially thinking. You know, why did I change it? This does fit the whole bottom at this size. Oh, because it kind of ruins these other panels above it. It really chops them in half. And what are you supposed to do with that? And then I was like, I'd lose 2 panels. So I shrunk it down to this. So it's just the bottom right. And now I've got these 1, 2, 3 panels. They're about the same size. So 1, 2, 3. And they'll play a part in telling that story. And I have an extra panel now to do something with, which might just be a nice close-up of the character or something like that, which is smart. All right, but let's get to it. So get my reference back so you can see me draw this whole nonsense. What's going on? All right, well, I see. Okay. And also, I'll get some of this music up a little higher. I forgot to move the microphone when I was talking a second ago. I really do think I might invest in some lavaliers. The old lav mic, right? That might help me out. I move around so much. Do. I was looking to turn this up for you. There we go. Fun music, chip tunes, good times, I love it. All right, really slow out of the gates today. What's this, 20 minutes? I usually like to say hi for 5, but that's okay. So we're hanging out, doing the art, doing what we usually do around these parts, having fun. Turn this, there we go. There is a front to this microphone, and it was facing the wrong way. Let's get hydrated. Let's get hydrated. Always good to hydrate. All right, enough lollygagging. So if I'm starting from here, do I have my smaller T-square? Where's that guy hiding? All right, right off the bat, we just have like the foundation of like the curb and the sidewalk. I'm trying to be able to fit all my reference right. I don't need to go that far, so we'll do that. All right, so let's just get those straight lines across. And it's funny because I did manipulate the picture so that like it wasn't crooked, and then I skewed it a bit so that it was like this straight building, because it's so weird what the tilt of a camera or really like how much it can affect, you know, the entire situation of. All right, yeah, there's just the halfway mark of this thing. Whoop. All right, and remember with straight line, you got to make sure your paper's straight and the edge of the book. Edge of the book is probably the thing to do when you're cheating lines like this. But even the edge of the book, you can see, I got to get that paper as well. All right, and these grids are pretty accurate. I mean, that's wildly inaccurate. Hang on. Yeah, there's my ones. All right, let me do that. All right, so there's that. That's about the halfway mark where the sidewalk. There we go. So there's our sidewalk. And then it's going to go to about the top of this line here is where some of, we'll go just underneath it, of the building is. All right, so we'll do that. We're going to draw over that anyway. And then that comes to about there-ish. Right? Because that's at the top. So wait, let's make sure. Yes, that's at the top of square 1. Is that? Yes. So I want that to go there. And even this. We don't got to ruler this out so much. Let's not overdo it with the ruler. Let's not overdo it. I didn't plan on using a ruler for any of this project. And then I dove in with the ruler because of how much of this was all like so much, you know, symmetry type of stuff that you want really coming out correct when you're drawing these like a building, you know. Okay, and then that is that seems correct. Yep, that goes to there. That goes to there. And then we're already kind of inside. Right? And inside goes to about, that's 1, 2. So 1, 2. All right, and then about 3 here-ish. So you can see I'm looking at it and I'm like, just see, it's a very small, there's a small illustration to a degree. Because like here's where the door comes, right? Then there's a little more. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Is that correct? Just checking, double check everything, right? Top of that. So this is here. And then yeah, the door does not go to there. Just some of this does. Okay. Now this goes over to this. Because you're in 3. Oh no, you're in 4. See? I'm already way off. There we go. I could tell my spidey sense was all like, what is this? Something's amiss. Something's amiss. And that door, right? That doorway, 1, 2. It's actually really doing it there. What am I doing? Beginning of 3. There it is. Okay, just like that. And 1, 2 only goes up to the top of 2, which is here. Right? And then that goes to just about there-ish. And that's where our other thing, yep, right there, see? There we go. That thing's there, that's the other there. That's the top of it about. Might be able to come down a little less with that. And that goes to this and does that. Which means it probably does that over here as well. Because buildings. Do. So I don't know how many of you were hanging out. I mean, I do get a lot of these rewatchy guys talking about WrestleMania the other day. So now we had some WrestleMania fallout on one of the worst Monday Night Raws in a long time. Oh, wrestling. Such a finicky mistress, aren't you? So funny. But yeah, the professional wrestling, I'll tell you, it really is like such a give and take relationship with the way we feel about all this stuff sometimes. Us wrestling fans. It's so funny. Because WrestleMania was great. I mean, they did it. They usually do. They usually deliver. And they did. But holy jeez. Like, but where do they go from here? And I'm not sure if they know. But man, wrestling was great. Also, Chris Jericho on the Stone Cold podcast was fantastic. Like that was something else. Because you really didn't expect that. That's really great. So that was that was just something, because they really did. They just talked about AEW like it was just another day. It was great. You like to see that. So that was good. As far as this thing's concerned, yeah, that doorway is only 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and then it's so weird. Because the door, no, that's shorter, and that goes to there. No, it is that. So the door, I'm looking at I'm looking at my reference. And just because the door doesn't seem centered, right? But I guess maybe. Because this goes to there, and then this is technically just this other square. Like this does go to this. Which means that door is like centered. So we're good. Right? 1 and a smidge. Just about. Because that's supposed to, it might even not even be that far of a smidge as it's going over. Yeah, it definitely isn't. That's actually a bit generous. One of these days I'm going to figure out this light situation so that it's better. Do. Because like for drawing, there's got to be a way to light this a little better so that my lines are a little more visible. Right? And they're not too bad over there. You know, I'm looking back. All right. So that's that. And then that goes to this. Which is that. Okay. And then there is a square. That essentially does this little metal gate decoration. And then that telephone pole, which I'm deciding on whether to draw the telephone pole. Because again, sometimes you can take things very literally. And other times you use, what is it, artists, creators, something where you have discretion, something like that. Artist discretion? Some sort of discretion? I think that's it. I swear that's the term I'm looking for. Alright, is there another one of those on the other side? There is not. Alright, just goes to here. And we'll play with that more. So yeah, I'm trying to decide, like, the, you know, it would go here. Like the power thing, the telephone pole goes here. But it's just kind of pointless. You know, because it's also right on the edge of the building. So it's like, this is the edge of the building. Like, do I need a telephone pole, like, getting in the way? I don't think so. It was 100 years ago, so I'm pretty sure this building's not around anymore, and they probably demolished it and demolished that telephone pole. So let's ignore it. Let's go into business for ourselves here. That's what we're gonna do. This jam's hopping back there. It's hopping. That's what you want. A little pep in your step. I'll just use the actual inch line, right? Is that where it's on? Ah, a little bit and a little bit of both. That's so weird. All right, so it does this, and then it like drops down a smidge. All right, is that what I'm gonna do, or is it that and go put this one up a smidge? It's that. So this goes across here, and then this is maniacal. This music, I don't know what's going on, and then this is gonna go up by just a hair. You know, as helpful as grids are, it's just about counting. All right, and it's going to do that to here-ish, to there-ish. All right, and then this little roofy guy is going to go to here. We're going to just call it there. All right, yeah, no matter what, the roof finishes on top like that, like straight across. All right, where does that happen? Into this brick here. So we'll do that. That's where there's a chimney on top, and that's as high as I'm willing to go on that, just because that's enough. And then the building drops down 1, 2. All right, we're in the, just about there. Do I see the two sides? No, you just still see the front of it. Do. I got this reference so small it's absurd, but it's just really the outside shape and just where the window panes go. You know, that's really all I'm really concerned with. You know, and there's going to come to it's going to come to right there. Which I probably just should have the building go off the page and not worry about it. So it looks a little more real. You know, it's not going to fit right in there perfectly. So let's just have it probably fall right off the page. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. All right, and I did do the thing where I cut into this one. But that's fine because I think I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. Yeah, and that thing still has like a bit. If that was there. I guess it really is right on the edge of that 7. So maybe I am going to make this other panel I'll have the gutter go the other way. See, that's what I had done. I had the gutter for that. Well, now I'm going to put it on the other side of that. So now this is a genuine 7 inches, and now this one is a little shorter for whatever. I think it's 4 or 3 probably. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there we go. So now it's a little less than 4 instead of 4 and a bit. And this one is exact. So now I've got some exacts. All right, okay. Now let's take a look where we're at, right? There's number 2. All right, and this should probably go a little higher because I got to do a little more decor into there. Da 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 da. Oh, pencil sharpener. Where are you? Where are you, pencil sharpener? Let's go. I should have several hanging around. I often do. Where did you go, pencil sharpener? Where did the 2 of you go? Check the floor. Hang on the floor, not on the floor. Alright, I might have moved it. Hang on, I'm going to do that thing. Be right back. Let's go look. Still looking. Haha! Hiding over there. No, that's just a piece of paper. Any in this bag? This is humiliating. Where could it have gone? What an entertaining live stream where a man can't find a pencil sharpener for his live stream about drawings. That's what you want. That's professional. Just looking for a pencil sharpener. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Enjoy the pencil rendering that I do for all of my overlays. Son of a D. Where could they have gone? Here's my ruler. Aha! Ah! Ah! Nose. Oh, crap. Alright, I'll still be right back. I'm going to get a beverage. All right. That's what I was saying, the nose, back to bird. There's the nose, that's right. Well, you know what's going to happen now, though. You know what's going to happen now. Now I can't find that pencil I was going to sharpen with this pencil sharpener. Because I must have walked around with it as I walked around looking for the pencil sharpener. Where's this? Ah, it's in my pocket. All right, I've got something in my front pocket for you. Have a little squeeze and how do you do? That's from South Park, or that might be a real song. I don't know if I've got something in my front pocket for you is a real tune. You know, like lots of Go for Guts and stuff like that, where it's like, that's a real song. Like, someone made that. Or, what's another one that's kind of like that? Like, I've got something in my front... I forget. I had it. It's not like a limerick. That sounds like that. Oh, what up, Raoul? I was having a tough time looking for some of the things today, Raoul, but I found them, and you're just in time. You're just in time for not having to deal with all of that. Unless you were sitting quietly, which I appreciate. Anyway, I'm drawing the exterior of the restaurant today, Raoul. So I watched Raw. All right, what did you think of Monday Night Raw? I called it one of the worst Raws ever. And I love wrestling. But yeah, it just wasn't, you know, again, the Raw after Mania has a lot of expectations, but this year, zero expectations because no fans, right? And the fans usually take over, even though the WWE's kind of in on the joke now, they kind of take over the whole show, and it's ridiculous. I was there for, I think, the first time that happened, for the Fandango year. And that's when they really went into, we all went into business. We gave ourselves a "We Are Awesome" chant. That's an obnoxious wrestling crowd right there. I mean, what's worse than that? Come on. How many of these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? About 6 of these little rivets. Not rivets. They're not rivets. A rivet is like little spaces like this. Just whatever. And then another. But then that's a piece of cement. And then this is like, what am I drawing? It's going to be like that. Okay. Weird. Damned optical illusion designs. All right, I think that's good. It's probably too wide. Yeah, I'm just guessing. You can't just guess when you're illustrating things perfectly, so let's erase those. That's a form of giving up. Okay. Oh, did you watch the Revenge of Zoe movie? Are you kidding, Raoul? What'd you think of that? What'd you think of that? Huh? Did you see a lot of pissed off panda art in there? My friend Talia's in there. Some of my other friends got in there. I think I snuck in the beginning playing cards, right? Pretty good. Pretty good. What'd you think? You could tell that is a local film with local people in it, which is great. Okay. Did you see it? Did you recognize that was me? So how'd you end up watching the movie? Did you recognize it? Who else is in it? The King of Arizona's in it, right? Chris Evans is in it, which was funny because we both didn't know each other was in the movie. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey! I'm in the beginning of that scene playing poker. And then you can see Pissed Off Panda comics and After Hours with Frank Powers. The comic is in it. Like, a lot of my artwork got in it because they wanted a bunch of local art in it, right? So you saw that. Isn't that funny? Like, that made my day. That was a day maker that was in there. I loved it. There we go. 1, 2, right? Is that good? Still not good. How funny. How'd you end up hearing about it, Raoul, out of curiosity's sake? You know, because I know the guys that did it, and they did a great job. So I'd love to tell them, like, yeah, this guy shouted it out on my show, and it was great. These are tinier. I cannot draw these to scale. I have to, you know what I got to do? It's because my thing, King of Arizona, that's right, getting a tattoo in that movie. That was great. All right, I think this is now more to scale. because I was looking at it, but it was definitely blown up, right? And I got to fit 3 of those little squares in there, not 2. So there's 1 on the edge, right? 1 there, and then 1 like that, right abouts? Yes, okay. And then 1 like that. And this is going to get me to, I think at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe I said, yep, okay. So this one still looks smaller than the rest of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to make sure they go across like straight. Do. There you go. And there you go, right? Good. That one's terrible. That one's terrible. Yeah, a lot of people only had the 1 scene in a movie. Like, I was only in 1 scene. I was supposed... So, I don't know. Do you know Jeffrey Notkin? So, Jeffrey Notkin is this awesome dude. He had a show. It was called Meteorite Men. Okay? And it was on, like, the Travel Channel or Discovery, I think, or Discovery Travel, or, you know how it is. But it was a real TV show for several seasons, right? And he's a rad dude. Really fun. Really nice. Went to SVA. He helped produce that movie, right? School of Visual Arts is the school that I went to. And he went there, was like the class of 86. I'm the class of 99 or 2003 or some crap. I'm high school class 99. College 2003. So we went to the same school, met here. He's like considered the president of space. Okay, Jeffrey Notkin. So Jeffrey Notkin helped produce that movie. And there's the scene in there where he is buying a book from like the store. I was supposed to be that character. I was supposed to have a whole bunch more involved in the film. Okay, like they really liked me and they were going to put me in as that role, which was a bigger role, right? And then the comic book store that they were using found out that I was going to be in the movie, and the guy was he's an old man piece of crap, right? And I think he finally is done, right? He's just this old jerk in town because I heard a bunch of stuff. He's talking all this crap about me. I met him and was so nice, and you're just so nice to people, and they glad hand you sometimes, and he said a bunch of stuff about me. I'm his competition because I owned an art gallery that did some comic stuff downtown. Meanwhile, he's just a full-on comic store. I don't even sell comics barely, right? And that guy says, he's in this movie. He's my competition. I'm not going to let you use my store. Take him out of he wanted me out of the movie. So they had to change my role. So I had the one role where I only had 1 line and was really in the beginning of the movie in the dark. I was pissed because I was going to be able to buy my own Panda book and do all this other stuff in the movie. But nope, because someone was a selfish, weird old man jerk. But that's okay because they really were so nice. In the next one, I got to kind of play myself, and it was really funny. So I have a cameo in the next one, Raul, because they're doing a sequel. All right. So when they finish that up, I'll let you know when that's all done. But there's a sequel to it, and I'm in that. We already filmed a bunch of it, but because of COVID, we had to not do it. Like it's just they have to finish it, and so it'll come out, and I'll let you know when it does. But pretty great, right? Every once in a while. All right, Talia's in the movie, right? You recognize her fast? There you go. Talia's a standout. Talia's a standout talent. That's right. I had a few other friends in there, and they used a bunch of our artwork, which was great, because that was the point of Constant Con, was to get people to be aware of what we were doing and people in the town and all that stuff. And all of our artwork's in there because they were promoting local art, and they came to me. So pretty great, right? Like, that's what I'm all about. I got a bunch of my friends in a movie just for being rad, and they promoted all of our artwork in it. And I don't know. I just think that's super special because it is. It was a great experience. Like, I'm really happy that happened. I love all those people. And now we're all still friends and can't wait for TusCon to come back. TusCon is going to be, I think, back in just full swing this year. So TusCon is the Tucson's science fiction, horror, and fantasy convention, right? It's the best. And last year I kind of helped them produce the online version of it. And I don't know, it could have gone a little better, but it went pretty great, all things considered. COVID being one of those things. But it went pretty great. These will actually fall right on the inches, pretty basically here. So that does that. And then those windows do that. Da-na-na-na. I don't know. So I'm in that movie. I'm in another actual big movie called The Bellman. All right. And the guy from, I didn't get to meet the stars or anything, but the guy from John, what's his name? Not, what's his name? Thomas Lennon from Super Troopers is in that. And I have a cameo in that. I mean, a one line in it, like I'm an extra kind of. But an extra with a speaking line, and I got paid for it. So I'm a paid actor. Pretty great. All right. So I did that, and I play a magician. So I'm walking in the hall at one of the crazy customers that is staying at the hotel that the bellman works at. So just an example, someone he has to deal with. It's the role I was born to play. Oh, that's so funny. Do. So this just goes to here. So here's the sign. These jams, I don't know what's happening with the jams. They're getting a little weird. I mean, they're not bad. Right? Is that about right? I think I want to go to there. And how far up? That might be as far up as it needs to be. I'm going to do that, and then there's some of those, huh? And then that, and like a thing, so. There you go. Gotta stop doing these hairy things. Just pull a line. Pull a line. Sometimes you can do hairy stuff. Because again, I'm inking it. But still, you gotta pull a line. That's the way to do it. I'm trying to think, did you ever see my Vantage West commercials there, Raul? I got to do a whole campaign for Vantage West. So that is a local, like, what is it? Credit union. It's a credit union. So not a bank, but a credit union. And I got to star in 10 commercials that were all on everyone's YouTube and everyone's Instagram. People were contacting me complaining that my commercial came on too much. So funny. I'll send you the link to that. Because they're all on a page somewhere. I have all of my 10 Vantage West commercials. And I helped write some of those too. And that's my gorilla suit in them. Of course it is. So pretty fun. I chase a little bit of this entertainment career to a degree. You know, hosting stuff is fun. I don't feel like I'm any type of actor. But, you know, there's always room for fun little things here and there. And just getting in where you fit in. Right? Sometimes that you fit into a movie. Hollywood. So it's a pretty good sign. All right. Is this doing the right thing? I don't know if it is. I think that has to do that, actually. And do that. To be correct. Right? So there's that. And then that is doing that. I'm not sure if I'm doing it. It's a little tough to make out all of these lines. There's a lot of lines to a lot of things. Making a lot of different things. So I should probably just try and draw the dark spaces maybe first. And then that's the sidewalk. Are you sure? Yeah. Yeah, okay, I see it. Oh, I got confused. Yes, okay, good. So, because this is the building... And that's supposed to go to here. Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure. You know, I might could lower it a little more just to do it. Just to give myself a little extra real estate. Because there's a fence that goes here. Like a little gate. And I'm like, there's no way it's this short. I think it's this short. So we're going to lower the foundation a little. Artistic. What is it? Not integrity. Artistic. Hell yeah, you remember that commercial? That's awesome. Makes my day, Raul. You know, the only thing I did want to see, or one of the things I wanted to see, and it did happen a couple times. I wanted, going back to Mania and wrestling, I wanted RVD to meet Matt Riddle. So that was one of my favorite moments from WrestleMania. and the bump. They first met on the bump. I can't believe RVD got to peddle rolling papers on WWE. Wild, right? What a world. So fascinating. Like, and I don't mean wrestling. I mean, like, how are we in a world where that's like a few, just a few years ago, you get arrested for that. Get arrested for marijuana. Now it's like RVD sells you rolling papers at WrestleMania. It's absurd. What a world, what a world. These lines got to be thinner. All right, and I got to do, oh, my favorite. It's just a grid, all right? So we got one of our classic windows. This baffled me so much in that last one because I had one measurement off, and I was just like, why isn't this working? It's a nightmare sometimes. You gotta do everything perfecto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they have about 6 windows, which makes sense. That looks like what that it would be about, right? Do. All right, something happens there, right? Isn't there a little break in the windows? Is there? There is something. Yes, there is. I'm doing that thing again where I'm convinced that I see something like that, like it's a bigger thing. And then we've got our 1, 2, 3. It's not going to be enough. Let's make sure of things. That might be too big. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there we go. Get these all straightened out. All right, then they go to that piece of wood. And that goes to that. Now there's all these little lips and, you know, wood. It's all fancy. So I'll get to that at some point. Okay. So ridiculous, RVD. I love it. Okay. Here, wait. Let's see if RVD. There you go. There he is, folks. Get it done. He's one of my favorites for sure. I really always loved him. He was just like the best and just such a good wrestler. Well, who's your favorite wrestler, Raul? Like, what do you care the most? Also, how old are you? How old are you, Raul? Out of curiosity, I'm curious. I'm friends with Raul on Facebook for a long time. He comes to wrestling shows. All right. I'm curious. Because I want to get when your era of wrestling is and yada, yada, yada. It's nice to know the difference. Because I want to know who your favorite is and what you care about in a wrestler. What you look for in a professional wrestler. Okay, so you're 30. Okay. So what do you look for? So you definitely grew up all Attitude Era is great. Okay. What do you look for in a professional wrestler? Like, what do you think is the most important? Like, my favorite's The Rock, right? Easy, easy. And then one of my other favorites, like if I'm doing my top, it's like Rock, Stone Cold, right? Mick Foley, Attitude Era, Hulk Hogan, right? But I always love the Hurricane. Like if I could be a wrestler, I would have loved to be the Hurricane. I always love the Hurricane. Chris Jericho is probably one of my favorites of all time as well, right? Ric Flair, of course, to a degree. HBK. Look how many people I'm naming, right? But some of those people, you can see there's a difference. Like it is with Chris Jericho, it's like he's got so much more than in a way The Rock. Because he's more well-rounded. All right, so yeah, my favorite wrestler is The Rock. All right, so, but you can see what I'm saying by Chris Jericho is more well-rounded in that he is like a better wrestler than The Rock, but just as funny in a way. Whereas The Rock's a great wrestler, but also not as good as Chris Jericho as far as like technical skill, you know, and being a technical wrestler and stuff like that. Like same thing with Stone Cold, ground and pound type of guy, right? That, you know, all that stuff. But then HBK, you can love him because also he's such a great wrestler, like the best of all time as a wrestler for his wrestling ability, which is nuts, you know. And then Undertaker has a bit of both of that too, because he's a great wrestler too, and then a big man, and then also like has some of the greatest matches. Again, one of the greatest matches of all time, Shawn Michaels, if not 2 of the greatest matches of all time. Like, you know, that's a big part of all this. Is there's all these parameters as to why some of your favorite wrestlers are your favorite wrestlers. And some of it is just because of the wrestling. Daniel Bryan. Like, oh my God. And it's because of the wrestling, but then also he's so funny. Like undercover funny. Like they didn't expect him to be as good at this as he is. I'm sure of it. You could almost tell. That's what all that B+ player stuff was. So, I don't know. Just really fascinating. And I'm just curious. So, give me some other of your favorites. I don't want your Mount Rushmore or anything. That's a different topic. But like, give me another of your favorite wrestlers. Because like I said, like, and even throw in like, it's like favorite X-Men. Like, sure, there's Wolverine, Gambit, and the main gang. But like a lot of people, it's always like, oh, Nightcrawler, or like Multiple Man. Or I love Jubilee and like Boom Boom, who was like a clone of Jubilee. I always love Strong Guy on X-Force or X Factor, right? So who we got? All right, let's count it down. Here's Raul's top wrestlers. I don't know if there's any order to this. We're going to go. Eddie Guerrero, fantastic. Chris Jericho, RVD, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. That's a fine group. Right? What a gaggle of professional wrestlers right there. Again, I can match a lot of those guys, right? Because you got Rock, Jericho, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like absolutely. Mick Foley, I always feel like has to be in my top too, like top as well, like not top, top 10, I guess. Because it's hard to do a top, and Macho Man, for goodness sakes. It took me this long to say Macho Man. Ooh, yeah, he's like one of my favorite people of all time. It's ridiculous. And that's the thing about Chris Jericho, is that Chris Jericho is one of my favorite people of all time. Like, I think he's a big inspirational, like, guy. Like, he goes after everything. Everything that he does is absurd. Like, his career, like, where's all these shadows? Is that this? What is this? What? I'm just trying to figure out shadows. Chris Jericho succeeds at everything that he does to, like, a sick extent. And always has, right? And I've always watched him do it. And again, it's not like he's an Academy Award-winning actor, but he went out there and did whatever when he was acting and getting roles and hosting things and, getting on Dance with the Stars. Even if he was the first guy eliminated on Dance with the Stars, doesn't matter. Like, just always out there really pushing it, going for it and all that stuff. And a lot of the things he's like, he is really successful at them. So I don't know. I always think that, oh, EXO bro, let me hear him. There it is. Sandman, RVD, Sabu. Looks like this guy's never left ECW. Oh my goodness. Let's get excited. Hang on a second. Friends show up. You got to give them a big shout. Hang on. That's the spirit. I fixed a lot of my stuff, EXO bro. Are you kidding? You know what I would call you? Again, as a professional wrestling, it would be this. The EXO brother. That's what it would be. Oh, yeah, let me tell you something. All right? How fun is that? So, ECW is a good place to stick. All right? Did you ever watch The Rise and Fall of ECW, the DVD? Because I'll be honest with you, I used to watch that like it was my favorite movie like 2-3 times a year. All right? It is the best. Okay? I had to fix it. I mean, it's the same. I just got rid of the moving backgrounds because I was still having issues with that. I had the moving backgrounds. So remember the other day when I had to do it from the phone and it was just like, we're just sitting here in a room. I found out that when I had downloaded one of the overlays, I looked online for 9 hours, okay, trying to solve this thing and doing whatever. If you have, again, and I was warned, the new Mac, which again, moving to a PC soon, the new Mac and that M1 chip, I got on that customer service and they're like, the M1 has a tough time integrating some of our third-party blah, blah, blah. Alrighty, can you delete, because Streamlabs would open up, nothing. No crash report, it just disappeared. Just pop, 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 and then disappear. It would try to get it, doggos populating and making this ultimate mixtape, and then gone. What ends up happening is they tell me that. I'm like, can you delete my overlays on your end? And they go, yes, my scenes. They go, yes, but are you sure? Because all your stuff's gone. I'm like, I only laid out 2 of them. Don't worry about it. They deleted them, and then everything started right back up. So good to know. And now that means whenever I do this and download overlays, because I made that pirate overlay, but then that was it. Never got to use it. If I do any of these overlays
I'm going to download them one at a time so that I know, that thing screwed it up. Hello there, Streamlabs. Can you delete my last overlay? I don't think they'd have to delete them all. You probably just delete the last one. So pretty rad. But yeah, pretty great. But anyway, some of that ECW, brother. The ECW, the Rise and Fall of ECW is one of the greatest documentaries ever produced. Okay? I used to watch that all the time. If you've never seen it, we got to watch it. And I haven't seen it in maybe 5-10 years anyway. We got to watch it. All right? We got to hang out and watch it. And again, maybe it's already like Tuesday, right? I'm painting Talia's house. That's why I'm full of paint. I get most of it off. I'm painting Talia's house. So I keep getting busy all the time, but I'm like sticking to my 10 o'clock schedule, getting this stuff done, which is really great because I never want to do it up until this starts. And then I'm like, all right. All right. So yes, we could do it on Discord because I got to learn some more of that and figure out Discord a bit. But yes, we should do a watch party on Discord and promote it for a week. So it's like, hey, it's coming up. We're going to do it this weekend. Make sure you see it. Make sure you hang out because I know we'd have a blast. All right. And again, wealth of knowledge. All right. So I would love to do that. All right. We got to start doing some wrestling stuff on that Discord. And again, just keeping things rolling along. A lot of me is stuck because I've got this weird thing going on where, and I'll get back to drawing. I'm about to go away, right? I'm about to go away, visit the fam. Visit that family first time in a long time. All right. And then I'm coming back and I'm like, oh, good, coming back. And I'm coming back and things are kind of back to normal. All right. So I'm coming back. Things are kind of back to normal. I'm fully vaccinated. All my friends are fully vaccinated. I'm not going to go to bars all the time, be making out with everybody. You know, 1 or 2 people's fine. But the thing is, I'm going to go there and get all that done, come back. And then it's like, and go, hit the ground running. So part of me is like, I should probably just order this computer and try to hook it up and get it all done now. Like, all right, I waited a little while. I waited like a month. Cleared out some room on the credit card. I am basically buying this thing straight cash. I got my tax return. Boom, buying that PC. So I should probably hook it up, get things moving along, and then, you know, go away and then come back and just start doing those things. Don't start trying to even do some of them Beat Saber streams until I come back. You know, just test them, get them working, and then when I come back, I can just like, now here we're in business, right? And I'm just basically going to be playing Beat Saber exclusively, it seems. Like all these tip videos that I see, that is how you do it. So even the art is going to be what it is, but this is not going to get me followers as much. It's just not. I mean, I'll keep it up. And maybe when I get away from these projects, things will be different because then the art can just be free. It can be, I'm going to draw a pissed off panda and do this and do that. It's not like I'm drawing Mexican food or I'm drawing drafting a building. Or doing some weird different stuff. All these grids that they have all these grids. Here's a window that I got to draw. But that to me is going to be pretty exciting because I'm almost at that point. This roof goes to here. All right, I'm almost at that point, but I think I should just make that purchase, get things set up, and figure that out. I also got to set up, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I should even be worried about the green screen and just, I don't know, because it is such a pain in the butt, the lighting, every day with the lighting. But I don't know. I set it up now. It was actually a little easier today, and the lighting did fix itself a bit. But every time, it's just such a pain. Whereas, I'll tell you, most people do not have a green screen as their background, you know? So it's something to, like, consider if I just set up some stuff and make it nice, like a lot of people have, and put some nice lights. And it'll still be kind of green back there, but who cares? You know, and if anyone feels like ripping a vid and making me do stupid stuff in front of a green screen, go for it. I don't really give a rat's ass. If I had that problem, it'd be great, trust me, because it's usually me trying to do that, let alone some of the rando trying to do it as if they're trying to do something to me. So I shouldn't worry about that. I'm not. But I don't know. I think maybe I got to make the move and just buy that computer before I go away, so that I can stumble through that for 2 weeks. And then I am going to stream while I'm gone, but I don't know about the scheduling. So I'll see what goes on. But I don't know. I just want to keep streaming, to be honest with you. I do just dig it. And again, over there when I'm there. What did I do? All right, hang on. I am misjudging this thing. Or I'm drawing this window too damn big. Yeah, I think I'm drawing this window too damn big. Yeah, really only... It, like, leaks into here by this much. And that's like the... What is that? Yeah. You know, I wonder if I should be trying to, like... I should just have a camera that is this image on the screen. Like, in the little window. In the mirror window. Right? And then you can see what I'm trying to draw. I don't know. I mean, it's just a building. But whatever. It might be more interesting. Something to think about, adding the extra camera. Eyeballing it. Let's see if I did okay. This is going to go to there. Do. Oh, and that's the other thing I was talking about. Like, if we're going to do some fun stuff, like, yep, back in business as far as I'm concerned, like May 15th, May 20th. Because, like, again, all them inoculations, good. What did I just see just make a move? I thought I saw something jump. All right, we did the hour. I'll make videos while I'm gone, but like, I want to, like, let's do the weekly review thing, or let's do that. Like, I'm trying to make a schedule and stick to it and make some themed things. Like, they do say, like, you don't want to do multiple things, but I'm like, there's no way I can't. I don't care. I'm going to lean into it, you know, but I think that the trick is just keep that schedule. Just keep your schedule tight and it'll work. And by that, I mean, I have to pick, like, okay, on Sunday mornings, I'm going to open up a toy and do like a toy show, right? And it should be every Sunday morning. That's when I do that, right? So that something starts to develop. And then this is, again, I'm sure it's too much. I'm like certain of it. Boom. Let's just do this a bit. So that's the edge of that window. Right, 1, 2. Okay, then I think a third is good, right? Because it is kind of a thin window. All right, I think that's about good. That's about good. Anyway, so, you know, getting together with friends, 1 or 2, and being able to shoot a scene, being able to shoot some movies, being able to shoot some videos together, you know. For Discord stuff, it's not like we have to get together to watch the movie, because we can just hang out together on the thing. That's fine. You know, we don't got to wait for anything but that, as far as I'm concerned. Like, we can always do stuff like that. We don't have to be in each other's presence. But being able to shoot funny videos again and get back to business with some other things, with my friends making creative things, like, I'm excited for that. Joel realizes he ain't doing Twitch, but I think one of the things is if he could commit, because he said, he's like, I could do that, where he could commit let's say every Friday at 5 or whatever, every week, just like we used to do poolside. Joel's like, I could do that. And then this way I have a Joel show, or a show with Joel, you know, every single, again, I got to use some, there we go. Like every single week. And I can count on that as content, and he's going to help, because it's something that's not just me. Because it's got 2 people in it now. Now it's something different, right? We are going to do some of our Scrooge and Cratchit stuff separately. We're going to do an audio podcast for that, so that's fun. Again, don't need to be in the same room for that. But, you know, fun. So I should get back May 15th. But there is a chance that I stay like an extra week, because my parents, you know, haven't seen me, and they're like, oh, that would be really great. And I'm like, you say that now, because I've done this. I one time stayed there for 3 weeks. After 2, I'm done. I was just in Hawaii, and after 10 days, I was done. You just kind of want to go back to your own life. So probably May 15th, I believe, is when I come back. And then I'm just going for it. What's today's date? April 13th. So okay. So I'm leaving in 2 weeks, and I'm back in a month. And that's when things are kind of like back in action, as far as I'm concerned, with being a little more normal. One of the things is going to be a David show. I even called David about it already. I want to do a show where I follow David around and just have him interact with people in public. And you can't really do that nowadays, you know, but soon enough we'll be able to do that. because that is comedy gold. It's just comedy damn gold. All right. Like, I can't wait. So I want to start thinking of that. So, bro, I want to start thinking of that where I make a schedule and try and stick to it. Even like trying to maybe get the art up earlier. Like, there's no reason I can't start this earlier except for just being more prepared. These next couple weeks, or this next week, while I'm, getting ready to go away and whatever, who cares? I'll just leave it late night because I'm painting a house and doing whatever I'm doing. Let's not try and, you got to get it right. Do it a certain way. Like, it's going fine. But when I get back, I really want to almost treat this like a part-time job, or a full-time job. But I guess part-time. You know what I mean? Because this is the job, so it doesn't matter. I could throw more hours into it. But I really want to do that and do the game streams every day around the same time and always be doing that at the same time. And then you can count on it. And then again, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do it every day. So I could relax, but I'm a little, because you see the way I am. I love this. I love it. I'm a little obsessed, right? I think it makes doing a lot of stuff easier. Okay, I really do. All right. Oh, Raul, back in the conversation. Your favorite female superstars. Here they are. Bianca Belair coming in there. Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley. Not bad. What about the man? What about Becky Lynch? Were you a Becky Lynch fan when she was around? Because I thought she was doing a great job last year, personally. Becky Lynch, my favorite woman of all time in professional wrestling, if not again the world, Lita. Oh my goodness. I love her. Loved her growing up. My word. And then she turned all evil and heel and became, I don't like to talk dirty, but she got a bit, I believe a good old JR calls her a Jezebel. Okay? She was filthy doing filthy things with Edge. Filthy things. So there you go. Becky Lynch, good, right? I love that. Who else? I used to like Mighty Molly Holly. She got in the Hall of Fame this year. And who else is like a standout lady? That's like, I like that lady. That's a good ladies wrestler. She kicks ass, How do you feel about Charlotte? How do you feel about Charlotte? Are you in the Charlotte Stinks camp? Are you in the she's the queen? Makes sense to me. She's daughter of Ric Flair. Charlotte getting that heat. Charlotte Flair getting that heat and working it, owning it. Okay? Listen, now who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? Because again, if I can name one, it's The Rock. All right? Now who's your favorite lady? If I can name one, it's Lita. All right? So who's your favorite? Get it done. All right? XO Bro, I'm sure, loves Francine. So who else? What are the ladies were in the ECW, brother? I think Francine is kind of it. Mrs. Dreamer. Okay? Oh, Luna. Get it done. Luna. I love it. Luna Vachon's the best. She's an animal. All right? You kidding? That's fantastic. Luna Vachon. She was amazing. That voice. Good Lord. That's a piece of history. Let's also not forget Mae Young. The great Mae Young. We all got to grow up on Mae Young, right? See, the Bellas, not a fan. I love Mrs. Bella, Mrs. Bryan, Mrs. Danielson. I love Mrs. Danielson. Not the biggest fan of Nikki Bella. But what you're going to do. Who cares? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try and count these roof tiles and do them correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like about 6 fit in each thing. And this is about 4. So that makes some sense. So look at this. I'm going to do hundreds of roofing tiles. Hundreds of 1, 2. That's too small. I got to get about 6 per inch. So 1, 2, 3. That's about half. 1, 2. We can do better. It's like drawing elephant's toes. That's what it is. Boom. I'm so excited to do. I was thinking of doing some wrestling stuff myself. Because remember, you know what's funny? So, XO, were you there when I did El Nuzador Were you there when I was El Newsador, the wrestling news luchador, doing a WrestleMania review of, I think, I don't even know which WrestleMania. I forget. But I did a review of some WrestleMania back at Creative Tucson, dressed as El Newsador. Do you remember that? Let me know, because I have something funny to tell you about that. If it does in fact jog your memory. Do. Like I could look something up. I'll look it up in a second. Oh, got a little bit much there. Those are a little too big. Almost. I got a song jamming that's pretty good. They use a lot of Mario coins. Okay, so you're... All right, you vaguely remember that? Guess what? That is the first thing I ever did. Okay? That's the first thing I ever did there. I may have read the news once, if I even read the news, but I think that might be the first thing I ever did, was dressing as El Newsador and doing a review of WrestleMania. And it's so nuts because I had it is the first. That's the first thing I ever did at Creative Tucson. So that might be the day we met. Isn't that nuts? And it was me doing a review of WrestleMania something or other. I don't know which one. Okay, I kind of did have it right. Should we go look? Let's go take a look together. Hang on. Drawing break. That was a good little... Come on, I drew for a bit. Hang on. Mirror. All right, let me look because I'm almost positive. All right, so let's go look. El Newsador. That might bring something up. I'll say this. El Newsador. WrestleMania 33, April 17th, 2017. This is the first thing I ever did. Was April 17th, 2017. So we have an anniversary coming up. Isn't that exciting? So yeah, pretty good. So in a few days, 18, 19, 20, 21, we've known each other for 4 years. Why, that's an entire college career, high school career, whatever, 4 years. Pretty great, right? That's how long. Isn't that nuts? And it's so funny because I did that, you see, it's 16 minutes. And I had never read anything like that with a prompter. I didn't have a drink or anything. I talk nonstop by the end of it. I am so like you can't really tell. My mouth was so dry. I was like, how was that? Like and people were, I remember they were like, some people were like, because it must have been Joel and whatever, were like, that was pretty good. Pretty good. Because just doing the whole idiot thing as a luchador, so stupid. But yeah, pretty nuts. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty sure that's like the first thing I ever did. I'm almost positive. I can check the news and see if I'm on there before that, but whatever. Pretty sure it's not that. I'm pretty sure, because I remember that specifically. Like, I want to come do this thing. So, pretty funny. WrestleMania review. Hilarious. El Newsador. My goodness. So, yeah, look at that. Pretty good run so far. So, I'm friends with Joel for like 4 years already. Good Lord. Doing good things. There's our 4. All right, get on in there. 1, 2. We were talking about that the other day, me and Joel, because we were talking about poolside. And being like, isn't it so funny because it's really rad to me. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Like, and who was working on that? It was like, oh, an Exo Bro was working on some of that too. Wasn't that funny? And now you're helping me like do this crap, which is essentially the same thing, what we were doing. Of like, you running the switcher showing me like, go click this button. You look like this, fix that. You bitrate shit, fix that. Like, you've been helping me do all this since day one of me joining the AV squad in Tucson, as far as I'm concerned. So good. But I don't know, it's super rad to me. Super important. You know? Because the idea that me and you get to do some stuff now is gold. Because we already know that we'll be great. Like, that's so funny. We were actually talking about it. I'll ask you some other time. Like, how come you didn't do more? Considering how, Marshmallow, it's about, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, brother. It's about time you got here. My word. I've been waiting to see you on this thing. I only popped on the wrestling one, okay? Wrestling on the Rocks. So we're talking about wrestling. Exo, bro, you gotta check out Wrestling on the Rocks, okay? Also, Raul, you should check it out as well. All right? Okay, so one Mr. Marshmallow, he does and has a very successful on here, on... Are you multi-streaming that? Is it on all of them? All right? Because I paid for the multi-stream. I'm like, let's cast out the lines. Cast out the lines. Well, the last time I popped on your show, I forget who had just passed away. All right? Boom, that's awesome. Next time, raid it. Give me a raid. I love it. But, I want to watch. It's so funny because I wanted to find out. I want to watch you talk about WrestleMania because I wanted to talk. I wanted to be in the chat so I could be a maniac about it. Because I was so pumped to talk about WrestleMania. It's like, oh, who can I talk to? And I went looking to see if you were on or to see if whatever at a point. Because, like, I really wanted to participate. So, whatever. I'll get more involved there, all right? But, yeah, here, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Great. So, exactly. So, go follow that. Go follow Wrestle on the Rocks. Is fantastic. Am I saying it right? Because I announced it once at a pay-per-view incorrectly. All right? So, let me know. Let me know. Where's the app? Because I follow it. I don't know how to find things on here. Anyway, so good and so fun. When I popped in there one of the last times, I was about to be a maniac, and then you were like mourning someone who had just passed away, and I'm like, oh, jeez. So I kind of sat quietly and lurked, and then whatever, Wrestle on the Rocks. Oh, hell yeah! I forgot to move my microphone over. But yes, okay. So, can I be on? Maybe. I am going away, though. I can't be on May 4th. So I'm going away. I'm visiting my parents. I'm either going to be back the 15th or I'm going to be back. Well, maybe, because even if I'm home, East Coast, I'm bringing all this crap from the East Coast. So I might be able to just do it May 4th. But at the same time, there's a 3-hour difference. And when I come back, I'm kind of like all for it, for everything. I was just talking about this with Exo on here, kind of. Where it's like, let's go full steam when I get home because fully vaccinated, all my friends fully vaccinated. Again, I don't know if you know what I got going on in here, but what I got going on in here, hang on a second. I should just, is there a way to turn this off? Let me go turn this off for 1 second, right? No, not that. Cancel. I'm gonna turn off a filter. How do I do that? Let's go to filters, right? Chroma key. I have it all set. I don't want to do that, but I want you to see what I got going on. All right, I'll just show you. Done. So what you have to do is you have to picture it, okay? Sicily, 1932. No. So all this green screen, right? Obviously I have a green screen back here. So I painted my house. When you do that, I made sure, remember, that's just green paint. I made sure I made it look cool. So it looks like that, right? And then the other day, I bought a green floor. I bought all this. That's all gym mat. So I bought nice gym matting, right? As a green screen floor. Because me and Exo were watching some girl do. So now I have a full everything. Look at that. Full mystery area, right? So that I could do mixed reality streams. I'm so excited because I have an Oculus. I bought an Oculus around Christmas. Not even thinking about doing this. So I'm going to do mixed reality streams of Beat Saber, dressed as a maniac. I'll dress as the Macho Man playing Beat Saber. Ooh, yeah, you ain't getting nothing by me. No, no, no. I can't wait. All right? And I'll do all that stuff. I'm ridiculous, okay? We got to do again, watch along review. That's okay. So look, you see that? Just got second vaccine. Nice. All right. So I'm getting mine. Mine was scheduled for 420, and I said, like, oh, I think I'm busy that day. How about the next day? And I pushed it back a day. There's a guy who has his priorities, right? So what ends up happening is I'm going to go away. We can do stuff in person then. Again, for this stuff, new Twitch stuff, we can always do it like this. And you could teach me how to do that because I don't know how to do that yet. But the idea of doing a weekly wrestling show, we're getting more involved with adding, like, I know I can do that too, right? Because everything that we do on Twitch and live streams and all this stuff, the way to be successful is what in your life is flowing water. That's the way I've been looking at it. I'm working on a freelance project. I have to do this. Hey, I can live stream it in the art channel. Perfect. Right? Love Beat Saber. Bought it to lose weight. Work out and lose weight. Right? So, I could stream this crap and people make it look like you're inside the video game and it's maniacal. Sounds good. I'll buy a chicken suit. Can't wait. So there's that, like, which is going to be so fun. But I watch wrestling every single week, pretty much immediately, and then can deliver my opinion on it at some point. Not saying I want to be a part of your show that you've got going, more than a guest, but the idea of you, maybe a review show, maybe a wrestling show, maybe you and I do something that is like a new thing for you to do, right? I don't know what your schedule's like. Like, I don't know how many streams you do in a week and if you have themes on them or whatever. But whatever, we just got to talk. I'll get you on the phone. But me and Exobro were just talking about the same thing because he's old school wrestling fan. Like, I watch Super Monitor, been watching the whole time. I know you're watching the whole time. Super Monitor as well, watching the whole time. Exobro, his favorite wrestlers are all from ECW, so that gives you a point of where he's at. But that's some great shit. Okay, that's good shit. So, and even that, the three of us could maybe do some stuff. The whole idea of being able to do a weekly wrestling thing, it's like I don't want to get in the space to a degree, but at the same time, like, I'm good at it and love it. I've got 30 minutes of my time to give you what I thought about Raw or run it down. So I don't know. All right. Again, the idea of you and I doing something where it's obviously not that, because you already do that, but something where, me and Frank and this other kid, or me and Frank, on this day we do this show, the theme is this, right? That's what I'm looking to do, perhaps. In addition to, I myself should maybe just start reviewing wrestling, right? Just do it because it's there, it's running water. But also, like, and I can start anytime, so who knows? All right. I was going to talk to you about it at some point first, but it's definitely something I could do. I appreciate. I'd have fun doing it. I'd love doing it. Because that's what we were just talking about. Were you here a minute ago when I was talking about, Okay, good. Okay, good. Definitely room. Okay, to make something happen. That's what I like. All right, that's what I'm all about. Because there is definitely room. Because I'm looking to fill out a full schedule and treat this kind of like a full-time job and go for it. Right? Like, I really am working on freelance, on camera, picking that up. That's the idea. Like, I'm all about it. Oh, Robert Gibson, get it done. Toot toot, Rob. How are you? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. We're talking about wrestling, drone, all that stuff. After 2 years, I know I have consistency and we can grow. Consistency is key, right? That's the thing. And just honestly, like, just, I know, and I have an idea for what I want to do, for what I've always just wanted to be. My wrestling show is being super positive. Because, man, wrestling fans, Star Wars fans, fandom in general, toxic, a bit toxic, okay? So, Robert, who are your favorite wrestlers, Robert? If you have one and or two, let me know. You should. Everyone should. Everyone kind of does, right? But that, I don't know. Like, that's some of it with everything that is on my mind with doing this, is I would want it to be a positive show. That's the theme. It's like all the good, right? And we talk about the bad for a minute, or maybe make that a segment or the 1 minute rant about something. Like, because some things are so bad, okay? Like, that's the thing. We got, look at that. Robert coming out with the big guns, Japanese Minoru Suzuki. Look out. A terror. A terror. This man's bringing his New Japan knowledge. I love it. I love it. That's the spirit. Get it? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fantastic. We're all very impressed. My goodness. I wasn't expecting a Japanese wrestler to get... That's amazing. That's amazing. Right? I don't even have wrestling in the title of this. I should. And when I did my WrestleMania radio, it's such a shame. I did WrestleMania radio the other day, Marsh, and let me tell you what sucks about it. The overlay I downloaded, I made this pirate overlay, WrestleMania logos, WrestleMania in the background, all this stuff. All right. Loves Jacob Fatu. I heard he's a jerk. But that's rad. Right? Is he Bullet Club still? Is he Bullet Club? Still keep Bullet Club alive? I don't know. But what was I just saying? I've been doing good for not losing my train of thought, by the way. So used to do top 10 and a bottom 5 are pretty much back to segments. If we don't like a thing, we try to breeze through it and move along. Right. Like, that's the thing. Like, because again, it's fun to bag on it. Like, sure, just like anything is. But out of context, the same way that, like, you and I could make jokes about certain things in a room together, but then if we decided to go out and on stage and make those same jokes, sometimes like that's not fit for the public. But you know, I'm not a horrible person. If I, you know, I'm gonna be like, let's just say a blonde joke, right? I don't know if those are allowed anymore. Okay, so that's Samoan Dynasty is allowed to be a jerk. That's true. He's allowed to be a jerk. They're hard-headed, you know how it is. So like, I would really lean into the positivity part of it. Like, I have a name and everything. But that's what it would be. It would be all about the good, and then maybe, sure, we gotta talk about the bad. Let's talk about it real quick. This, that, and that. Whatevs. Don't even give it maybe the attention of a fun segment where everyone's favorite segment would be when he goes on a rant about what sucks. Maybe there's room for it because they shouldn't. You can't get away with being that crappy all the time without being made fun of. But yeah, like, but like, I don't need to make fun of everything that happened with the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Like, I'm like, oh well, I guess we got to see how that unfurls. I don't know why that happened, and that could have been better. I guess so. Yeah, that definitely could have been better. All right, should have been a regular wrestling match. Shouldn't that have been some sort of fun gimmick match? Come on, one RKO. Come on, who kicks out of one RKO? Like, is it worth saying all that? Because I brought myself down by talking about that, right? I would rather just talk about, like, I'll tell you what, I don't care how much goop she's covered in. Alexa Bliss is so hot. I don't know. It's those eyes. I love the beady eyes. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Woo! It's getting steamy in here. I love her beady eye contact. I have like an eye thing, I think. So I loved her crazy eyes the other time. I love the beady eyes. Give me all white. I'm sure it's a thing. I'm sure it's a thing. I want to see it. I mean the eyes. All right? You ignore things unless they're awful, awful. I like the Fiend stuff. Fiend has never cared about the wins. It's true. I just don't want him to be beaten with one RKO because it was too much. You know what I thought of it, not to be all self-booking, because she's doing this, like, oh, to him, right? Oh, and the bleeding. Shouldn't she have thrown a fireball in his eye? Wouldn't that have been great if that's a little more like, oh, she turned, like, because everyone was baffled, right? Like, it's true. Like, he was concerned about, well, so but then that's all it was. I was confused. What's going on? I was confused. Everyone's calling it a heel turn. It's just weird because, like, they're the faces in a way, but they're not. Even though Randy's not really the heel. Oh, it's weird. I would have appreciated a fireball to the face. Okay? I would have appreciated, actually, if the Fiend was afraid of fire now a little more if they'd worked that in. But again, I don't need to be booking the territory. That's not what we're here for. We're here to draw. Okay, look. He gave RKO just to get him out of the way. She should have given the Fiend Twisted Bliss off. Yes! Something, right? She should have just something. She should have physically attacked him. I don't care if she hit him in his Fiend nuts. Right? Just give him the old low blow. Boom! Get it done. But whatever. Let's not go about the what we were wishing for. Let's go for what we had. And those were some beautiful stunners, right? Take that, Logan Paul. Sami Zayn's the best. I love it. KO, the best. Love him. Right? Loved all that. Loved the main event. All right? Randy Grimes. Exactly. That would have been great, right? What can you do? Because then he would have been shocked by the betrayal. Okay, fire, exactly, right? Depth to the character. Depth. Then they could have one day built up to an Inferno match that he's terrified of and has to overcome his fear, right? He could be afraid of stuff like Kane. Make him like Kane had some weird things, right? A little depth. Anyway, now we're just going on and on and on. Let's get back to drawing and talking about wrestling as I draw things, right? Because we're drawing a building and I'm doing like Andre with the snakes. Like Andre with the snakes. Like Andre with the snakes. The man's a genius. Give him a podcast. He's already got one. Wrestling on the Rocks. You gotta watch. Go subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Go get it done. Marsh knows what he's doing. Are you kidding? Have you a pet? Maybe. Well, if that was an impersonation of him. Also, where's my chat? I set this thing up. It's not supposed to say curse words. I got attacked by horrible perverts one time, and they said, oh, it's a horrible thing. I had to go put on the safety chat, so I don't get attacked by perverts that say bad words in my chat. Marsh, what are you doing? My goodness. Anyway, let's not. Are any of my things I gotta go set my things. I got attacked by bots the other day that posted all these links because my link thing wasn't set up. I'm very lucky I'm not getting attacked right now. I'm only being attacked by friends, so that's good. It's not set right. I gotta set you up with Nightbot. All right, Nightbot sounds fun. Sounds dangerous. Sounds dangerous. Like Michael Knight or Night? Oh, like Night the Night. Like it happens at night. Very good. But I agree. All right? A little more substance. All right? A little more substance. Good. I need all the help I can get. Let me tell you something. Exo Bro's been my hero on here. Live on the stream. You have no idea. He has saved me many a time. Many a time live. Okay? And I'd be drowning. I wouldn't have even gotten this far. All right? Like Dark Knight, I think. But that means it has a K. Dark Knight has a K. Because do you mean Batman or do you mean a Dark Knight? See, that's a bad example. Because I think of Batman when I see the Dark Knight, not Time to Catch Lightning Bugs. Right? Do you call them lightning bugs or fireflies? The debate is always out. It's a strong debate. What do you think? Because the jury's still out. I think it's a regional thing, like pop or soda, right? Oh, look at that. Those came out pretty good. All right, I got to do them like that. Each tile has to just make this shape, and then that'll happen again, right? Like a little over. I want to make sure I'm not screwing this up before I get too involved in it. Yeah, because this has to that'll move. It's got to stay on a diagonal slant. Make sure it's on this diagonal slant. Such a pain. Oh, is that the third one? I was right at the third one. All right. You don't spell. He's a talker. Lightning flies. What is that? Firebug. You're full of crap. You're full of crap. Now you see, this is what happened. Now I'm being trolled. Trolled by Marsh. He's full of baloney. What do you call soda? You call it pop? You call it soda pop? Pop cola? I got nothing. He's just here to torment me. Torment. What does everybody call lightning bugs? I call them lightning bugs. I am from the East Coast, so I assume that is what it is. Whereas I think the Midwest calls them fireflies. Like Southern folks. Like Alabama backwoods cult leaders who like you to follow the fireflies. Follow the lightning bugs isn't as good. That was Undertaker had magic lightning. Strike me down with your magic lightning, Undertaker. Okay. Oh, Robert Gibson's a good man. That's what I like to know. He is a good man. All right, don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. Soda equals fizzy sips. I like that. Okay? I like that. That's excellent. All right? Robert Gibson is a saint. Don't you forget that. Robert Gibson is a saint. You gotta love that. You got people in the chat loving on each other. That's what I like. That's what I like to see and hear. Well, I guess see really. It's chat. Look at me go. This music, if you can hear it, is pretty good for drawing a whole bunch of tedious curved roofing tiles of some sort of what kind of design is this? What would this roofing tile? Oh, look at that, and they start to face you. Okay. Did Teddy Hart get arrested 43 times in the last year? I heard that he's #1 at something. That's so funny. What's called? Oh yeah, Robert Gibson. Wait, isn't Robert Gibson one of the Midnight Express? Is that what it is? Or the Rock and Roll Express? One of the expresses. I hear the name on Cornette all the time. So Teddy Hart, okay? I heard that he showed up at some show the other day and was just like told to get out and then posted about it, and then that was dumb because then it just only got more attention. You know? What is his deal? What is his deal? What a shame. You know? Like, what's his freaking problem? How are you getting arrested 43 times? Like, isn't it weird when you hear about stuff like that? I mean, I guess he's a performer, actor, whatever he's doing. Not wrestler, entertainer, right? I'm terrified of getting arrested one time. Like, it'll ruin my job prospects and opportunities, and I'll have to put that on resumes and stuff, right? Like, I would never want to be arrested, and I'm terrified of the very concept of it. You know, and I've met people who've been arrested, and that's the idea, and then it happens, and There's a difference between jail and prison, and there's a difference between all that stuff, right? So I might be putting it up on a pedestal that it's not a big deal to spend a night in the drink tank. You know, that's happened to some friends apparently, or an old friend once or twice. Specifically one guy. He's better nowadays. But like, because I put it on such a pedestal of like, oh my God, that's terrifying. 47 times? 43 times? Okay. It's not like baseball. Oh my goodness. Way to rip on baseball. I've been saying for years, I say it all the time, that wrestling is going to replace, whenever I do something about the future, wrestling has replaced baseball as our national pastime. It makes sense. It would. So I do these correctly. Right? Those are pretty good looking. Nope. Something's wrong. Nope. No, nothing's wrong. Okay. They're just a little fluctuated, but I can cheat that by doing that. All right. That's so funny. God damn, you're funny. All right. We'd have a fun time on some of this stuff that we would do. I guarantee it. Because here's the other thing. I want to do... there's just so much... I don't know. There's just so much to do. That's fun. Like, one of the things I want to do... I don't know if people do this much. But... doing new commentary over classic matches... to me is a hilarious concept. Kind of like Mystery Science Theater. And like Stranglemania. Right? There's a reason that lasts a lifetime. That is the funniest crap on earth, Stranglemania. ICP. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Right? Say what you will about ICP. Stranglemania is hilarious. Right? One of the funniest things on earth. Okay? And I don't know. Hey, remember, I am a wrestling announcer, so that's fun. But I would love to do that. And something that's not just... like, where they really went way over the top. Like, do it as characters or use puppets or something. And it's not Hulk Hogan. Just call him, oh, here we have, the mustached ham. The mustached ham bone, he's famous for dropping the ham hock. You know that. Look at him. He's not actually sweating. That is butter. His butter glistening on his body in the sun. This man is half pig. You can smell it, right? And you just talk about that stuff. Whoop, whoop, there it is. We got that. I see. Whoop, whoop, there it is. So funny. Get it done. Oh my goodness, get it done. That's amazing. So yes, wouldn't that be the thing to do? I think that's one of the things to do. Okay, if it's you and me who's the color and who's the anchor, you have to be an anchor, and that might not be fair to you. I'm actually a good anchor, okay? But you got to just be able to, there's because the dynamic. Remember, the two of them, still two people making fun of the thing, right? Because don't overthink it. Remember, this is a comedy show, all right? So the idea of me being more the straight man is okay. I often am. Like, you see what I did there? That's the straight man. That is the straight man. I did not do a joke there. That was me talking about Golden Ham Hock, the big wrestler. What's his name? What did I call him? The Golden Ham? I forget. Whatever it was. He drops the ham hock on you. He's glistening in butter. Right? He's a seasonal wrestler. Better in the autumn. Like, and all of that is not me being a color guy or a heel. I am being the straight man describing the insanity that we're going to talk about. Like, it's not Macho Man. We're going to call him someone else. All of that. We're going to just change it all and make fun of it. Here we are in Duluth at the Piggly Wiggly Center celebrating, the charity event to raise money for Little Toto's leg replacement. Little Toto, famous wrestling little man. And we're here to raise money because he's getting his leg extensions. That's right, it's finally happening. Leg extensions, just like you've seen the Olympic athletes have, and they run and they win the thing. This man getting his leg extensions, we're excited to see him here tonight. blah, 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 blah. Those are, in fact, phony legs he's got on. Those prosthetics, they look real. Totally phony legs. But you can't tell. They're still real to me, damn it. And you see that? None of that was me making anything, right? Okay? That's the idea. Is oh, good night, Raul. You're the best. Whoop! That's the spirit. Okay? Again, you see what I just did there? Like, it's ridiculous. Okay? Okay? Oh, go on all you want there, Marsh. They cleared it in the rule book. I'm not sure if you saw, but these legs, though they do look and are perhaps looking as real as possible, they are not robotic limbs. No, they were grown and gestated and then fused onto his body. They are human legs. They have no extra abilities. They do not give him the advantage except for the fact that he is now no longer 2'6". He is a 7'2" giant. It's going to be exciting to make his debut right here in Duluth at, Headlocks for Dreadlocks. That's right. Raising money to get reggae wigs made for the Young Boys Choir who's going to Jamaica to put on the performance. They need to raise money for their reggae wigs because they are all adolescent and cannot grow hair properly. Right? All of this. That sort of nonsense that I was just talking about. Where all of that baloney is not... I'm pretending that's all just completely 100% true. Okay? So that's, I think, a fun gimmick where that's what we're doing. And it's not, we don't acknowledge that there are these wrestlers. We make up a whole bunch of crap, And there's a lot of the improv element, which is good. But being prepared to be like, all right, tonight we're going to call Hulk Hogan this. They're at this fundraiser. Like, we can make up some of the story and give them new, like, we could always call Hulk Hogan, like, whatever we call him, right? That would be funny. Because you do it long enough, you'd affect the game. There'd be signs. People bringing signs for John Cena, and we'd have made up some new identity for him. Like, that'd be fun. But that's long-term booking right there. Right? But I don't know. I'm ready for some fun ideas like that. Because I know that we could do some fun stuff together. Again, that's a bit more effort because it's kind of like a comedy show. You're making up stuff, being characters, calling a match on your own and just being fun, and they are who they are, That's fun too. There's a few different ways to do that. Like, who knows? Like that, I wonder if that could be the whole theme of a podcast, like called Calling the Action. And like they call the action as characters sometimes, they call the action as themselves, they call the action as whatever, and they do different types of shows where they call the action like either as characters or the wrestlers are different characters or whatever it is. Or we just want to call this classic match. So one of my favorite things that's ever happened to me is I got to call a match at WrestleMania 19 with Taz, and it was awesome. All right? You want to hear how that happened? I'll tell you. So, at WrestleMania Access, which were kind of new at the point, was WrestleMania Access. So WrestleMania Access is going on. And there's lots of lines to meet people. I got to meet Jericho again. Saw Rock, Austin, met Paul Heyman, met Tommy Dreamer, got a picture with Tommy Dreamer and Spike Dudley, right? And then Taz comes out of a back room. And he was not scheduled to be there or whatever. And he's just popping by. Just to see what's going on at the thing. Because, why not, right? So he's talking to somebody. And I get out of line because we're in the line to do the commentary. You could do guest commentary. They had 5 matches to choose from, right? And this one, that one, blah, blah, blah. I walk up behind Taz, and like an idiot, I tap him on the I tap him on the shoulder, okay? And he turns around, like, who the touched me, right? Who just laid their hands on me, right? Because he was talking to somebody and behind like a barricade in it to a degree, but his back's right there. So I'm like, let's go for it because I'm fearless with stuff like this. I don't care, all right? And I go, he turns around. I think I'm like, Taz, you're the man. I'm from Long Island because he's from Long Island, okay? He's from Long Island. He grew up in Massapequa. So I go, Taz, you're the man. I'm from Long Island. I flew all the way here. Would you do color commentary with me? We're in line and we're next. Okay? And he looks at me, and because I said I'm from Long Island, I know, because I saw him. Like, I saw him do it. Because I think I might have asked him that, and I said I'm from Long Island, and that's when I saw him, like, move a little. He's like, all right, you know? And he comes over and sits down with us. My friend can't believe it. Marking out like a child, he's marking out, right? We have it all on tape because they give you a recording of it. They give you a recording of you calling the action. Oh, now I lost count a little bit. I think I was here-ish. All right, I'm doing this row. Let's hope. All right, so he's like validating Taz's career, asking him a question like he's a news reporter, and Taz like, I'm satisfied with my career for what's been happening so far, yada yada. And I'm like, yeah, that's great and all, but let's talk about this match that's going on here. And me and Taz and my buddy Earl called Rock versus Hogan 2, where Rock is now ultra heel and Hogan's a super good guy, right? So it's Rock versus Hogan the second time. And Rock's a vicious. It was the best. Did that with Taz, got a photo. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So that's one of my favorite things about doing color commentary is that my first time ever I did it with Taz. All right. And it was great. We had good chemistry. All right. Like he was in a good mood. He's funny. All right. We're making fun of the thing. I'm going on and on about like, oh, you gotta love The Rock. The Rock's doing this. You gotta love The Rock. He's like, do I gotta love The Rock? I mean, blah, blah, blah. Like you could tell. Like he was like doing this and that. All right. Then I make some joke. And he goes, like something happened. Then the lights go out. All right. And he goes, oh, the lights go out. They're going to come back on and Sabu's going to be in the ring. And then both of us at the same time go, that's gimmick infringement. Both of us say that at the same time. And he laughs and he slaps me on the leg. Right. And it hurt. He's a stout and mighty man. That Taz, the Taz maniac. Right. I love Taz. I used to listen to Taz's podcast all the time because it's like, sounds like home, right? He's such a mook sounding voice like me. So it was pretty funny that I would listen to Taz all the time. I love Taz. Look at those. Look at all those roofing tiles. Pretty good. Pretty good roofing. Right? All right. Okay. You met Taz Starcast, made him laugh. Okay. Signed a water bottle for me. H2O Jones. That's what he does. All Schnabitz. What's his name? Ferben Schnibbern. That's right. It's funny because I don't know if that's a wrestling thing or if it's a Long Island thing or whatever, because some of those fake phony names that he says, like I know, so I've heard those names, right? I know a Joey Numbers. I know all Schnabitz over there. You know, first so funny. So funny. I love Taz. One of my favorite things, old H2O Jones. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. How do you like Taz in AEW? How do you like him in AEW? How do you like AEW, actually? How do you like AEW, Marsh? What's your feelings on AEWs? Out of all of the curiosities. I'm curious to see what your take on it is. Because, you know, I reserve some opinions, but now it's been around a while. And I certainly have I got my opinions. They're not all just Fernum Schneid. There it is, Fernum. Oh my goodness, I love it. I use those jokes all the time when you can't remember someone's name. Fernum Schneibitz things. So funny. I think it might be a wrestling thing. I don't know if it's a New York thing or a wrestling thing, or both. Because I saw it get referenced recently on something. Oh, is that what it is? This one's supposed to have a couple more tiles. Well, where are they supposed to go? They're supposed to be around here-ish. Okay, I can fake those out. Right, where's that window? Goes to there. We're halfway through the third square, right? Third square, second one down. Yep. Right, third square, second one down. What am I doing? I'm getting lost. Hang on. Now, first square. All right, so here's that. There's my gutter. All right, right along the line. And then this, I think, sorry, I'm just a little confused. Okay. AEW has been a huge disappointment to me. I've stopped watching for the second time. Wow, really? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. MLW still impresses more than AEW. Wow. I thought NWA was better than I thought. I loved when NWA showed up. That was the best. Okay. MLW delivers more for me too. Oh, that's what Rob's saying that, right? I got to get people's names different colors. Okay, Hammerstone. So I actually called a bunch of Hammerstones matches, which was great. I met Hammerstone when I was doing a lot of stuff around here for Rockstar Wrestling. I did something up in Phoenix for, I forget what this Mexican wrestling organization up there. I met Hammerstone. But yeah, Hammerstone's a good guy. He was doing, you went to NWA? That's amazing. That's amazing. Hammerstone's a good guy. He was working the Trump angle when he was there. Like his gimmick was like, I'm pro Trump supporter. Like you're all this, you're all that. It was really funny. Like really funny. Just he did a good time. But yeah, NWA, I mean, they came out of the blocks, but what are you going to do? How much can they deal with during this era? But now all they needed to do was show that, and then they got bought by Fight TV, right? Like, didn't they get purchased where now they're more on a channel? It's not just free on YouTube? Because I was blown away that they were completely free on YouTube. I'm like, what? How do they expect to succeed? Like t-shirt sales for real? Like, how do they expect to succeed? Because they're not traveling. It's only going to be an audience of 50. You know, I love every bit of it. But how are they going to, you know, how? I can be seen at the Hard Times pay-per-view. That's awesome. Hammerstone's come through RWA a few times and was always good. That's awesome. Okay. How much? Let me ask you this much. Are you doing more of the reffing? Were you still trying to follow being a referee or what? Because it's coming back now. So are you still trying to do that in HIW? Or are you trying to do that around? Because I was curious about that. Because, you know, I stopped seeing you. And I was wondering if you were still chasing the dream. All right? Just because why not? Scroll. Studio held like 250 people. I was wondering how many people it was. Like, I was thinking of, I'm thinking of the old Ric Flair shot of like how many people there must be. So I'm still trying to find my extra rows. That's right. The eyes get you and the subs count. That even counts for real things that I deal with. Where, I mean, not specifically me, but when you're doing entertainment stuff or even the art now, any art job, they're like, oh, how many followers do you have? Like, they want to know if you have some social media. Like, they do. It counts. It's really weird. Like, what is happening? I saw my screen flash a couple times. So good. Oh, I'm so excited you showed up today. You have no idea. I've basically been waiting for it to occur. Like, and I've been meaning to do that, but I've been painting so much. And then also just trying to keep up with doing it. You know, sorry for excuses. But I got to catch you when you're on. I'll set alerts. I turned off all the alerts at a point because, I'm not responding to them, so it's not going to work. And I was getting alerts for too many people, so I just got to customize my alerts. All right, I'm down. Did I go down 2 or 1? All right. Custom alerts. I got lost. I got lost in the mix. Yeah, don't disregard the podcast. Like, I wouldn't ask you to do that. Only problem with reffing now is the podcast priority. My other projects, JW, book shows during events I need to cover. Oh, I know. Isn't that baffling? I skipped a show. I'm like, wait, there's a show on Valentine's Day? Or there's a show on a pay-per-view day? I'm like, why would you book a local wrestling show on like SummerSlam? Like why would you do that? So I was a little put out too. And I think I skipped one of their ones that was on a pay-per-view day for sure. Because I was like, absolutely not. Like, A, where is it? And I'm like, A, I don't want to go to that place. Because it wasn't at the usual place. It was at some other thing. And I'm like, I'm going to go watch this pay-per-view. I got plans. Because that's nonsense. You know? And then that's when those guys... Yeah, some of them, not all of them, will be like, oh, if you took the business seriously, if you really cared about it, you're going to be such a mark and such a whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, the business of podcasting is more likely to be a success for you for sure than any of this stuff. Like, again, I imagine reffing is for fun. I don't expect to get a job with the WWE being an announcer at any time in my life. You know? I know it's something I do because it's fun. And it's another little notch on the belt of entertainment broadcasting. Right? So, but don't have delusions about it, right? Like, that's the thing. Put the I and subscribe and the no notifications. That's hilarious. Okay? Okay, it does make money, though. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. HIW doesn't even want to pay me. I had to arrange with them a thing. And now remember, it's because they're not. It's hard. It's hard because are they an organization? Yeah, to a degree. They don't make a dime on that stuff. You've seen that place as packed as ever been, right? And they do got to pay some of those guys, right? They're not walking out with money. It's a break-even organization that they practically do for the love of wrestling, and that's it, right? Like, that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it, is that you're a ref, and there's plenty of refs there that'll do it for free. Like, there's a few refs that do it for free because they're training or they're doing whatever, right? So that's part of it. Now, and it's, again, I don't want to not call them a not real company, okay? Like, but it's not, it's not. Like, it isn't. Not the way, like, Cactus League was trying to be, but, like, that's more of a, where you're actually going to get, like, oh, we've got this actual former, like, Chris Masters was there and Carlito and stuff. Like, we've got some former real talent, they made a bigger splash. Like, they did have Big Cass show up there before he showed up anywhere, which is like, no kidding, right? Pretty nuts, but they dropped the ball with, management and promotional stuff because classic wrestling promotion stuff and a promotion family. They were a promotion family. Like, they even did everything. They made the kid the champ. Like, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, it's absurd. Matt Strike was my middle school. Oh, that's funny that Matt Stryker was. You actually had him as a teacher. That's hilarious. That is really funny. He used to do all right. However, you break down the ring by myself and see the talent, take a few bucks and leave. Yeah, I'll put my focus where I make money. Well, yeah, exactly. Like, that is what it is. And that was always a problem there that, like, those kids got to break down the ring, get it done. And that's always an issue with certain people. Like, and I help break down the damn ring. I don't care. Like, let's go. Let's get it done. But sometimes I had to run. Literally had to run. Like, we're done. I'm running out of here. I have a radio show. Gotta go. And they understood that. No one was ever a real jerk about that either. Like, it is what it is. But there's obviously bigger things to do. Good place to get your breaks in there. Prophet booked you to record shows because he knew I was the only one who would show at his house, load the ring, build it, tear it down, and unload the next day at his house. Again, don't say it. Now listen, don't say you're the only one, because you're not. Now, if that happened that one time, it's true. But there's a lot of those refs are good kids, and a lot of those younger wrestlers, they do what they do, but it is a problem. It's always a problem, I'm sure, in every little organization and all that stuff. Like, that's what it is, And again, like, that's the point. But it was a good place to cut your teeth. Like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, Charles Robinson always does that, right? Like, that's awesome. And that's good. Like, it's always good to have the best example of someone. Keanu Reeves gets up off the bus to let people sit down. He stands up, right? Yep, we should always all do that. That's right. You don't need Keanu Reeves to be the example to always do that. It's a tradition. The younger folks help people break it down, right? Like, so you're saying you're the only one because I was the only one every time it was me and him. It wasn't once. 12 times that happened? Now, was that at Rockstar or HIW? Because, like, that to me is ridiculous. But at the same time, help Prophet. He's a good guy to help. He's a good dude, and you're breaking in. Because, again, you shouldn't be looking for money. $10 is $10. You're right. How many times had you reffed by then? 5, 10, twice, like, what can, like, that is what it is. Now, again, people do get too proud, but people also are lazy. People are lazy. People will always be lazy. That's a part of it. I don't think those young kids are too proud. They're trying to get away. I hope the teacher doesn't call on me to do the homework. It's hard because you see that. Everybody, the amount of times I've seen them all yelled at for that sort of stuff. Okay. Right, and HIW did have a lot more people helping, which is weird. Yes. Okay? Like, exactly. Because they know they're getting a break. Okay? A lot of them are trying it out and would do it free because they want to be a part of the show and they want to do it. All right? But then eventually they start taking themselves seriously. Like, if I want to do a ref, I should be getting paid and I should be this and I should be that. And that's the point. You're exactly right. But you'll never get a job at MLW reffing if you don't cut your teeth at HIW. I would never get a job announcing. I can now say I'm an announcer for 3 years, you know, at 3 different organizations in town, which is great. You know, that's a big thing. Like, that's a big part of it. But, you know, I get it. Because if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, and I'm saying I don't think Prophet was taking advantage of you, you know, it is that. Like, yeah, you don't want to be taken advantage of, but certain places could obviously afford to pay more, you know, and that's a truth, you know. But also, I don't want to deny what you're talking about. You're speaking from some personal experience. Like, if someone got too proud and was in your face, or someone got too proud and you saw or heard, then yeah, what do I know? It's true. Like it is that. Like it is that. And again, don't ever not do your pod. That makes perfect sense to me. Like, that's really it, you know, because conflict of interest is true. Believe me, I would, if I had my radio show was coming on and this match is going to go past 9, I would have someone hit me and take me to the back so I could leave because I got to do my radio show. Because that was also a job too, right? It's exactly that. And again, I don't mean to be coming down hard and be all like anti this and anti that, you know, and being defensive of people and mysterious strangers I don't even know. Because again, I'm sure you are talking about something from real life, you know? And again, I'm like, oh, did that happen once, twice? You're like, it must have been a dozen. I'm like, well, that's a lot. That's a lot of times, you know? And that's a shame. Like, that is a shame. How do I draw these flowers up here? So there's flowers up top. There's flowers up top. Okay? Smash me with a stool. Gotta go to the station. Exactly right. Okay, that's how you get out of there. So get out of there quick. Make it work. I've never actually had to sell anything for real. I've never been hit. They always just steal my hat or do whatever. They'll scare me. I'll run away. I'll hide under the table. And again, sometimes I'm like, I think he might be really pissed at me. But then no, of course not. I'm like, what if I said something that really pissed him off? Like, what if that thing I just said on commentary really did piss him off? Like, I think you would know. They take it. They really would go after you, you know. But sometimes it gets scary. Like, these just look like balls. Whoops, that sounded dirty. These just look like balls. Okay, right? And I know you do the same way I do, but they also have to recognize the way I'm talking about. Like, I don't want to say HIW is not a real company, but you can see where I mean that. Some people, like, and they have to be able to see that, you know, the same way I have to be okay with, like, they obviously couldn't afford to pay me much, so I'll take, you know, what's I can get, which is usually, you know, 20 something bucks, because I get paid from that organization because I do the raffle and I get to keep the raffle money. So that's the only way I get paid, buddy. They ain't paying me from the till either, because they weren't going to pay me. And I said, I can't do this for nothing. I said, there's just my morals. I said, what if you did the raffle and you get to keep the other half of the raffle? Which is why when sometimes someone would say, and the money's going to help these people and some of them vets, I'd be like, stop saying that. Don't say that. Because that's not what it's going toward. We don't want to advertise it like that. And there have been some times where I gave the raffle because I'm like, all right, if it was this much or whatever, I can give some of the money because screw it. Why not? But, you know, the price of things can't be the thing that stops you from chasing dreams. All those things at Creative Tucson were free, you know? You know what? That's actually a good way to look at it. It's like an open mic. That's a good way to look at it. That's a very, very good way to look at it. Because it is like an open mic. It's a good place to cut your teeth, and then you go on to the big leagues, right? And let me tell you something. It doesn't take long to cut your teeth. Like, you hear wrestling stories. Like, some people, oh, I trained and trained and trained for this many this, and then this time this. And other people like, I trained, and then my first match was after 3 months. You know? It's like, what? Yeah, I had no idea. But then you really don't start learning. No, you're on the road anyway. So, like, that's the thing. Like, you always say, oh, I can do that. Yes, I'm the man for the job. Like, it's always, that's good business advice is the yes thing. You say yes, right? They asked me if I could teach Adobe Illustrator at the school, right? And I'm not the best Adobe Illustrator guy, but I know it. I know Adobe Illustrator. And I was honest. I said, how advanced are these students? They're like, it's their first time opening the thing. It's Adobe Illustrator 101. I'm like, then I can do it. Because I don't want to BS anybody, right? And some of those kids are still better than me. Because they were like, oh, I'd already taken the introductory class a couple times. I'm like, then why aren't you moving on? Oh, you know, because it's easier. Right? So, like, you know, it's that. But what was I getting at? Okay, so yeah, they asked me if I could teach that. Yes. So I accept it. I take the job, sign whatever. And they're like, but also we want you to teach another class. Could you teach a history of comics class? Okay. And it's like, oh yes, absolutely. And it was a real class they had that I took from another teacher. Because he had too many other classes, so he transitioned to whatever. So I'm like, yes, the reason they did it that way, because if they had asked me, do you want to teach a comics class? Yes, I do. Can you also teach a hang gliding class? Absolutely. Absolutely. I would have said anything to teach that comics class. So that's why they did it that way, which was probably pretty smart on their part. So it was the next day I got my cartooning class, which is pretty funny. So I could definitely rep for nothing, but it can't conflict with the pod. Yes, I get it. I agree. The pod is number one. I agree with that. The fact you're already making money on the pod is big, because just keep going. Just keep going. It's all you got to do. You know, you got to change up the times a bit, but just be you and attract that audience and make that audience your fan base, and you really include people. That's everything that this Twitch tells me. It's everything I'm already good at with my live streams for a long time. Like, I built up a pretty good little fan base of friends and acquaintances over on Facebook. So that's why I want to do the multi-stream. And I do get a lot more. Again, you're on Twitch, but you seeing me on Facebook. You know, like that. It just helps. It just helps me get in front of some of the eyes that I need to be in front of, and more opportunity. Plus, once I start using the stupid, the gaming, stupid Facebook gaming is failing, obviously, so they'll push it. If I'm on Facebook gaming, they'll push my stupid streams up because they want that to succeed. That's what I keep finding out in these how-to videos and all that stuff. You got to post in YouTube communities, post YouTube shorts, because these are the things that are failing. So they're really boosting them. They're giving them triple the algorithm, or whatever, however that crap works, right? Whereas your standard video, do you ever see a YouTube video on Facebook? You don't, because they don't push them. They want you to see that video on Facebook Watch. They don't want you to see the Space Jam trailer on YouTube and share it. They want it to be on the, share the Facebook Watch version of this trailer, right? That's what they want. Right, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do little curly cues inside the flowers. All right, so that's good. Oh yeah, there you go. And now they look like flowers. Like they're a little random shaped, for sure. All right. Facebook, exactly, question mark, right. Because I'm doing the multi-stream. So I'm multi-streaming to Facebook. So Marsh is on Facebook, okay? I don't know if his logos appear in the chat like that. But you're on Twitch. I'm on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube right now doing the multi-stream, right? So Facebook gaming, they tried Facebook gaming because every one of these things is trying to gobble up every other thing, right? Or have their own version of it. So YouTube Shorts, they want you to post short videos. That's their way of dealing with TikTok, and probably before a little bit of Instagram. Remember, there used to be 6 seconds used to be your limit on things? You know, then 15 seconds. All right, we'll give you the minute. You know, that's the thing. So those videos don't exist on YouTube. We need more short videos. All right, we made this program. No one cares. Let's boost these. Facebook gaming. We made all this program. It's failing. No one's looking at Facebook gaming as much as they're looking at Twitch, as much as they're looking at whatever. Let's push these videos on YouTube Watch. Let's make these people that do this, let's reward them with more attention, because that's where they are failing, okay? So that's the thing. Like that works. And people tell me I should be doing TikTok, because be your best friend forever on TikTok and promote the Twitch and promote all the things. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. But I don't want to... TikTok to me seems tedious. Like, I don't want to make a little skit every other day. Some little skit with camera cuts and all that crap. Like, I don't know. I'm just not into it. But then people like, just do it to Scrooge. I'm like, oh, you're right. Scrooge on TikTok is comedy gold. So, I don't know. But certainly the triple streams. And then it's all about organization and doing it on a schedule. So I'm pretty good at that. So when I get back from I was talking to EXO about this earlier. When I get back from my trip on the 15th or wherever it is, I'm going to try to and adhere to I got to try and adhere to a schedule and really do this. Play Beat Saber the same time every day. Do my Beat Saber workout, whatever it is. Do drawing at a certain time. Maybe it is late night drawing jams. Pick the day that I do a toy reveal, you know. And then guess what? If you're a toy fan, then maybe you do notice, oh, he's gaming on this day, maybe I'll look. But the people that watch the drawing streams are most likely not going to follow to Beat Saber And the Beat Saber followers are not going to follow to the drawing streams. That's why they tell you to stick to one thing on this. So I'm not going to mix up too many video games. I am just going to do Beat Saber, like as my streaming video game, right? I'm still going to draw, because that's just a different audience, and it's keeping me honest about my work. But I'm also going to, I want to open toys, and I want to do watch-alongs, and I might want to do wrestling. And I think that if you just do them always at the same time, you'll get a little bit of crossover fans. They say about 20%, maybe 15 to 20% of all the fan bases will cross over because they are a fan of you. So that's the goal. And I'm pretty good at people being a fan of me. So that's the idea. But I keep finding all that stuff out. Do you watch any of these how-to videos just for fun? Because I do it. You find some people that are good at explaining Twitch to you and tips and whatever. And I'm already good at some of the tips, obviously, because I'm not a moron. But there's a lot of morons out in the world that don't have common sense. So light, sound, obviously, clutch, pinnacle, good sound, always the biggest thing, right? Interact with the stream, talk all the time. If you don't know how to talk all the time, here are tips on how to talk all the time. Not worried about that, right? Be friendly, okay. Be engaging, okay. Like all that sort of stuff. Always change. Ask for help. Ask for tips from people that watch you, because they're the ones that can tell. That's why I'm like, how's my sound tonight? How's it sound? Good. Talia's always on here doing the sound, so it's pretty good. But it's always good to get sound checks in there and check the sound, and people tell me if the bit rate's whatever, and oh, you should try this, try that. Oh, you think? Okay, good idea. Because again, like, oh, I forgot to move the microphone, Oh, EXO, bro. I got to hip him to the game like I'm some professional, right? Yeah, here's the tip. I keep paying for things. I mean, that's just what it is, right? Like, I just think I got to give myself the exposure dollars. So, yeah, I paid for the Streamlabs Prime so that I could do it and just try to be on every stream because I think that works. But every other thing I'm telling you is just stuff that I am finding that a lot of the same videos regurgitate, right? Same thing, right? Like, don't cheap out on your lighting. Don't cheap out on this. Put the filters on your microphone so that you're not peaking ever, so that you're not too quiet, all that stuff. And that was like, they were all just really smart. The filters are super helpful. So Procreate game has stepped up double by watching your Procreate game has stepped up by double. I could not. Remember when I was like, what? You drew this? You could draw this good? Because I've never seen anything that you drew ever really like that. I don't think so. But then all of a sudden you're drawing all these portraits. And I'm like, what is this? Like, way to go. And that's what I keep telling people. Now, granted, because I'm always, people are always asking me, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? With everything, with no matter what it is, right? And it's always like, well, you can't be scared. You just got to try it. You just got to start it. You can't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be too, you're allowed to be scared. Use it. Don't be too scared that you're frozen, But like, that's always what it is. People are just scared. And you got to go the extra mile, but you don't have to go the extra mile immediately. My camera and my alerts didn't work the first stream up. I was streaming in idiot 300 by 240 instead of, HD for the first couple streams, but that's why they were kind of test streams. It was all right. Gave myself room to screw up. You got to tell yourself you're going to be okay that you screw up. Don't be mad when you do. Like, that is the mindset for a lot of this creative stuff. No one owes you a damn thing, ever. Like, that's a big part. So it's just good to be humble about all this crap. But the thing I was about to say is, like, the answer is on YouTube. Like, I was one time just still doing I was asking EXO, like, hey, maybe this, maybe that thing. And it's like, just get on YouTube and keep hunting. And it took 9 hours to do the thing. That seems to be the magic number. Oh, 5 hours one day, 9 hours the next, or 4 hours the next, and I figured it out. Fixing Twitch the other day, or fixing Streamlabs the other day and figuring out, downloading overlays with the M1 chip. Well, that might not work. Took a day and a half. Okay, well, I'm here now. There's no way to teleport to this moment. You have to go through it. You got to walk the desert to get to the other side of the desert. Okay? So, dude, at Wrestling on the Rocks, every show is our first show. Every episode is episode 1 because we don't need to be pressured, and every episode will have a failure at some time. Right? Exactly. Right? But obviously, like, your set looks better than it did on day 1, and your lighting did improve, and you then do take the time to improve the sound, you know, and to get those things that are pinnacle fixed so that it's not the worst. Again, the other day when I couldn't get it to work, I still went live on my phone, and I explained it, and I said, so what? And it didn't stop me from going live, and I didn't go in a bad mood, and whatever else. I didn't give into it, you know? And then next stream, let me lay it out. All right, it's all laid out, but it's 10:15. No sounds, no background, no green screen. Too bad. It's about drawing anyway. So just went for it. No big deal. But I am always going to still try and make this always even better. Add more alerts. Add the wheel. Learn how to do the trivia game. Learn how to do, because these are all there. I mean, they're all, and I installed some of them. I want to learn how to do the chat. I don't want to say chat roulette. That's something different. Like there's chat games. There's an 8-ball. There's voting. There's polls. You know, so I really want to master this whole thing and get so fast at it is the trick, so that it's never me stumbling and bumbling to be like, oh, where's camera A? Where's camera this? Okay, like that's the thing. Right, it's not a chore to grow it, right? Like, exactly. Like, add more jokes, add more, like, sounds, add more this every time this happens, you know? Like, I love the gimmicks on streams. I love going to people's streams. I found a guy that with his bits, and I haven't set up, not bits, I haven't set up, like, my funny money. Let me ask you, can I set up the funny money like you have Red Bennies, for watching Exo Bro and whatever, not the bits, like the fake money that you can still cash in for sound effects and you cash them in for making things happen, right? Can I do that without being 50, or do I have to have 50 followers first? Because I'm not sure yet, and I just haven't looked into it. Because I want to start that going so that I can make some fun stuff happen on the stream, right? So I went to some guy's art stream the other day. I liked him. He's a cool looking dude. Seemed chill. And for 100 of his fake monies, you can make him hydrate. It says hydrate because you got to remember to take a drink of water. I'm like, oh, I need that reminder, right? And then another one was posture check, and he stretches. Do a little stretch quick. Check your posture, right? These things that artists are supposed to do, you know. And I'm like, I love that concept. So I want people to be able to do that and cash things in to make me do things because that's really funny. I saw somebody cashed in like a few thousand because he was looking to end the stream, and then he got rated, so he kept the stream going for an extra 30 minutes. So then it was 4:30 in the morning, and then someone cashed in like cancel stream end, extend stream for 30 minutes was something he had as a thing. And he was like, oh, come on, dude, I can't. Like, it's 4:30 in the morning, like I can't even function, right? And the guy was so pissed, right? Like, it was so good. I don't know if that was, I don't think it's Dork Chop, okay? He doesn't draw. Yeah, it was a guy that draws. But hydrating, I'm like, that's fun. And that's probably like a common Twitch thing, maybe, an alert thing. Like, oh, make me hydrate, that's funny. But I'll put things, make me sing a song, make me whistle a tune, you know, make me whistle this specific song or something. Things that you make your gimmick. Like right now I got the slide whistle when someone shows up to make a big deal a little bit. Just so they know, like, oh, this is a fun maniac, you know? Like, things like that. I love that sort of stuff. Like, I'm going to do a Macho Man thing so that, like, cut a Macho Man promo on something because I do my Macho Man. So that's like a thing to buy for sure. Why not, right? But I love those. I love the idea of you can make the person, like, do a thing. You can make me do a thing. That's interactivity, you know? Especially if it's like, I'll say your name, this, that, or something about your name. Oh, can we talk about something quick? It's so funny. I was looking for all this help. So I was in a lot of different bulletin boards and things like that, you know, and then they'll suggest top posts. And someone was saying, hey, has anyone else noticed? I was speaking a high pitched voice for 60 seconds. I could talk like Frick. So Frick's my Muppet character. This is his voice. So sometimes I always do inflections like that, and that's Frick's thing, and that's what he does. So sometimes I figure I can do stuff with Frick because I could be on one camera, and then Frick will be on the other camera, so that when I switch cameras, you won't see my mouth moving, and it'll be like two people doing a show, right? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Frick. I agree, I thought of it. Yeah, good thinking. Why don't you keep it down? Oh, why don't you keep it down? I'm also the looks of this operation. Hey. I believe I've got something going for me. You better not. And you do that sort of thing. Okay, so there you go. I think that was a minute. That was about a minute, right? So it's stuff like that. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Tell me to cut a promo on something. That's hilarious. I'll do it all day, right? That's so fun. And it makes this whole thing fun. Like the more fun, the better. And now the thing about that you got to do, because each stream then, in a way, oh, what a setup, right? Has to have different ones, because I'm not going to do certain things. I can't play a slide whistle. I'm playing Beat Saber because I'm in the middle of a thing, right? But I could scream and do whatever, but I could also do song requests. Like you could request any Beat Saber song. Now, I saw now there's another aspect of Beat Saber where there are some people doing Beat Saber levels that are custom, okay? Right? Oh, you have an air horn, so you do the air horn when you do it, when you get a sub, that's a big deal. You hear ice hit, glass, you follow, an animation comes. Exactly. So I have a few of those. I have a few really good follow alerts and things like that on Twitch. Like that's the idea, because it makes them fun and interactive. I want just dozens and dozens of those types of things. Just dozens and dozens. You know, everyone loves that reference stuff, so that's where you can get away with some references and sound bites and all that. And I've got a rich wealth of knowledge when it comes to references for sure, and all that type of crap. I have, when you buy something from the merch store that I haven't set up yet, but I will, it goes, it's the guy from RoboCop. I'll buy that for $1. Ah! There you go. Get some RoboCop in there. I have some, who else do I have? Some Dazed and Confused references in there. I got, I don't have any wrestling ones yet. I have a yes. I haven't turned it into a .ogg yet. So I gotta do that. This flash was the whole thing. So, you know, all that stuff, making all that happen, always coming up with ways to do the stream, right? But song requests is the thing, is going to be one that's fun. That's going to be a good one that's like Beat Saber only. Pick a hat, maybe change your hat could be one, and coming up with all this dumb stuff that is also relatively appropriate for other streams. You know, because I'm always wearing a hat. So, wear a new hat. Oh, you got it. Let's see what other hat I got. And just getting creative. And the only way you can figure out stuff like that is also by watching Twitch and trying to. So I've been trying to do that and participate in watching Twitch a bit more and finding things. Again, I'm a pretty easygoing guy when it comes to having stuff on. Now, the thing about that what that's done is I haven't listened to Jim Cornette in now like 2-3 weeks. Do you like Corny's podcast, March? Because I love it. Rob, do you like Corny's podcast, Jim Cornette? Because he can be so horrible and a mean bastard. And I don't know. I don't think he's racist. He says some old-timey jokes, right? I do believe he seems pretty sexist. But, boy, when it comes to professional wrestling, he is one of the funniest bastards on planet Earth. And that's what I'm listening for. And the politics, actually. Everything he said about Trump, I wish more people talked like that. It was hilarious. Okay? So, I don't know. But I find that he's funny, right? But I've been trying to spend more time on Twitch, watching different artists, getting ideas, you know, trying to figuring out why their stream does what it's doing. But then you can see it. They recognize everybody. They go raid someone that they know they're raiding, and they watch that person play games. And they play games too, so they're definitely, you can be both. Being a variety streamer is the goal. But they say that you don't want to start that way. You want to kind of ease into it. Even if you're adding a new game, I shouldn't add a boxing game, which is the other game I was going to add. I should add a game that's like the groove game, the dance game, or the bass something game. It's the same style of game as Beat Saber, because then all your fans won't drop off as much. But Beat Saber fans are like, oh, I don't really care about a boxing game. But then 20% of them might stick around because they're a fan of Frank, right? So that's some of the idea too, is trying to figure out what's the best thing to do. Because I'll play a dance game. I'm all about that. But they even saying that. You focus on Beat Saber all month, and then you introduce your group to a new game that is similar, but try doing that. Like, I'm going to start playing this game on weekends. You know, you do it once that month, then twice, and then maybe that's your weekend game as you then start to maybe transition out of Beat Saber because maybe you're sick of it, you know, or it's time to move on to a new thing. These flowers got so different from these flowers. So something to think about. Uh-oh, there we go. See, look, I'm getting attacked. Who's a mod? Who's a mod? Right? We gotta ban these people. They're trying to get me big follows. Okay? Right? I can't stand Brian either, and he's from Long Island too. So he always brings up Long Island. Alright? Is Exo still a mod, or did that go away? No, you're still a mod. Exo, bro, if you're still here, can you block those people? Because I can't type. See? Spam. Look, Rob sees it. Yeah, we got it. Why can't you just right-click on them? Why can't I right-click on them? I'm going to go to the Twitch chat. It might screw up chats. Okay? Right-click. It doesn't do anything. So I can't... See, I don't know how to do this. Here's my chat rules. Okay, you got to hit me to the game. Oh, that's from back a moment ago. Okay, got it. Right? Now I can do what? /ban and then just username. So I got to type this whole asshole's name. A-W-A-S-A-K, and they're gone. It doesn't matter. All right? And this will never come back, I'm sure, but still. And I had banned links. Did that work? It did. Okay. Ban AT411YRRAH3. Banned. Ban again? I mean, it says it. Best Frank forever banned that person. All right, and then one message was deleted. Okay, wait. Space. Now ban, you dumbass. All right, did I get him? There we go. Yes, got them both. Okay. Got him. Multi-stream. Look at all those curses. That's so funny. I might have to put you in timeout. I'm going to put you in timeout, Marsh. So funny. I'll go set the thing so the links don't work again. But whatever. There's got to be a quick way to ban people. Okay, wait. Let's go back to chatting real quick. So I was going to say something for everybody. Funny, okay? I was on a page. And they're doing the thing where, you know, I'm trying to figure out all these things. I'm trying to figure out all these things that, like how things work. I'm trying to make my Streamlabs work. I'm in a bunch of bulletin boards. Top bulletin board post is there, blah, blah, blah. And it was, have you all noticed that there are more girls just apparently in bathtubs and in hot tubs on the front page of Twitch? Like, what's that about? I had 800 something comments. And I was laughing, and because I did notice, and I'll tell you, a few months ago, I don't know if I was like, maybe not, it wasn't that was popping up, it was always just some video game thing. And now, let's go take a look at Twitch. Let's go to mirror mode. Let's go to Twitch. Because, yeah, it was, and you know these girls exist, right? And we, you know, and you don't want to, again, oh, are you shaming a person? I'm not sure if I'm doing that, but it's more the fact that, because we were talking about, like, right, there's this girl, okay, she's playing music, right, good for her, right, all these girls, 4 girls, 1 hot tub, there you go, right, dancing e-girl, they just get on there and they dance around, 5,000, 14,000 views for this dancing e-girl, right, so that's something, there's some art, but when you go to your basics, like, it's ridiculous, right? And I was watching some girl, and again, you know they exist like this. You know they exist. And it's just her. Just like, oh my god, like you donated this thing. And she writes their names on her body. And I was like, oh. And then she's opening up boxes. Let's see what someone's, I think his name was Francis. That's what Francis sent me. And he's bored of this anyway, because Francis is always whatever. And I was like, oh, Francis. Luckily, my name is not Francis. She's opening packages. Oh, more leaf lights. I have more people send me leaf lights. Oh, opens up Oh, you bought me a charger. My thing, $200. She's like, this is $150. And then opens another thing. Oh my God, you bought me my iHome. Thanks, so-and-so. And does a little splash. Like, here's the thing. Okay? Just talks and smiles. Get a few thousand views every time. Right? Okay? And it's true. When I was a waiter, it's the same thing. Okay? It's the same thing. When I was a waiter, I waited on New Year's, right? I'm gonna work New Year's. I'm gonna work like a 12-hour shift. I think I made like $600. Then the morning girl came in, right? She's a friend. I love her. She's great, right? Oh, I didn't move the mic back, but whatever. All right, she's great. She made $600. I think she made $100 more than me in half the time. Like, worked a 6-hour shift and made $700. And I was, because it was New Year's. Oh my God. Right? Smiles and nods, right? That's what it is. Now, that said, listen, okay? I'm a guy. You're a guy. Robert's a guy. Exo's a guy, right? We're a bunch of guys here hanging out. One's even a bro, spelled with zeros. The thing is, okay, is that I get it. I have met a beautiful woman many a time, and you feel this need to give them things. It's like a real thing. Lizard brain is like, do you need money? Can I just give you something? You do a lot of art. I had these markers laying around. Can I give you all these? It's a $100 marker set. It's been laying around, and it was laying around for over a decade. I don't use markers. I had to give them to this girl. Just had to. She wanted markers so bad. I felt a yearning. It's in there. It's just in your lizard brain. So that's what happens. All these fools, they're just fools. They're suckers at home. And you never know, because you always imagine like, oh, this loser. This guy might be some 16-year-old kid who just has plenty of money. Drug dealer. They might not be I guess a loser, right? But sometimes you think it's just some 50-year-old dude, some like whatever. Oh, they're all lame. It's a lot of young people, I bet. It's a lot of young people, right? This is what they're being taught on how to interact with the ladies. Oh my goodness. Terrifying. Terrifying. They just go and they worship these ladies online and they send them things. It's insane. Hundreds of dollars. They're not even nude. That's enough, though. That's enough. I'm talking nicely about ladies. Again, I have plenty of lady friends. I'm not bashing them for what they're doing, but plenty of my lady friends don't like bimbos. Like, that's, I think, what I'm making fun of, right? I can make fun of dumb guys. Well, I can make fun of dumb girls. Because, like, oh my God, like, just like that girl didn't get an education, you can tell, right? I think she was from Texas. Sorry. But it is what it is. Okay? Ah, you steal my paint pens and Trader Joe's? How dare you? I put up a sign. I put up a sign. You can't be taking my paint pens. I didn't pay for those paint pens. Don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about it. Those are fine. It's the Sharpies that I need back. It's the Sharpies I need back. You savage! You savage. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, too, by the way. Okay? Everybody steal my paint pens. That's why we had to lock them up. That's why we had to lock them up, all right? Because they were getting thieved by sticky fingers at Trader Joe's. But whatever, that's fine. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, what's it? So I get it. I get it. But I can make fun of a dummy. Just watching a dummy and like she trips and like I wanted her to slip in the tub so bad just because dumb. But what are you gonna do? Like she's trying to spell and she couldn't spell. And again, this isn't sexist. If this was a dumb guy, I would make fun of that illiterate moron. In fact, I believe I was making fun of an illiterate earlier on here. Thanks, Marsh. Thanks for proving my point that I am just, what is it when you're just equal opportunity making fun of people for illiteracy? That's fine being dumb. That's fine. That's all it is to it. Right? There you go. There you go. Anyway, good for those girls. Good for those girls. If guys are upset, then what can I tell you? There's tons of guys watching. Probably a few gals watching too. Right? Because that girl was stacked. I'm gonna go. Let's go. Let's get back to work. I'm distracted. All right? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. La 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 la. Do I need a beverage? I need a beverage. I'm going to get a beverage from right in the other room. All right? Right here. Right here. Here it comes. Get the beverage. I'll tell you what, maybe I should give that a try. I got strawberries in the, I just saw strawberries in the fridge. Should I sit here and sexily eat strawberries? Ooh, I made a sexy face, but I wasn't on screen. Ooh, tiny sexy face. Ooh, there it is. So good. I gotta put some more graphics at the top again. All right. Who's not sponsoring me? Apparently this company is not yet sponsoring me, so they don't get any free treatment. That's right. Sponsor me, and I'll drink all of your delicious beverages in front of my millions and millions of friends. Boy, if I knew the name of this corporate beverage, I would fully endorse it. And I bet many thousands of people would then drink it because I am their best friend forever. And you trust your friends more than any other advertising campaign. It's true, right? Science. That's just science. Look at me. I'm at 240. This is heading toward one of my longest streams. Pretty good. Pretty good. And I drew most of the time of it, too. Not too bad. Not too bad. Camera 2. Camera 3. Camera 1. Bird cam. Bird cam. Right? Drew a bunch of flowery flowers that I kind of like and kind of don't like, some of them. We'll see what I do about that later on when the inking process begins. What else? I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of done for this. Now I can draw this door. There's a door. There's a door there. Let me get that door. Let me get the door for you. Hang on, let me swing your microphone back around. All right. Know what I need? Lavaliers. Marsh, do you feel you need lavaliers better? Okay. Because I, sponsored, not sponsored, I should probably stop because it's still free. It's still a free ad. Bah. Okay? I don't give them the credit. I tease them that they'll get credit. But, and the only reason I do that is because it's a bit. It's just fun. I always used to love not sponsored by, but I would do things like not sponsored by a full head of hair. That's right. This podcast is certainly not sponsored by a full head of hair. And I put a hat on. You know, I would do things that it's obviously like the antithesis. All right, let's draw this door, which comes up to about this, the height of this thingy. There's a little doorway. And this goes to there, and that's where the doorway goes. Delicious corporate beverage. Delicious corporate beverage. That's pretty good on the fly, right? Do. I've been doing that joke for years too. That's the other fun thing about this. Because, like, as a guy who's been technically streaming, and by technically, I mean not technically at all, like 5 years practically. Certainly, yeah, 5 years. Because I did it with the radio. I started doing it on the radio. So, 5 years of streams, like you build up material that, like, oh good, now, like, I'm pretty good at this as far as being used to it and was ready to do, like, just a different platform. You got it. Let's try to do it. Let's try a transition. And it was, this was so, let me tell you, this has been so, it's hard. Like, again, I would be nowhere without Exobro, my man. Okay? My man. He's the best, helping me out all day long. But that's the point. Like, because I actually tried asking a few people. Marsh, you were actually on, like, if I couldn't figure this out, like, I was like, I know I could ask you for help, was one of the things. And it's so funny, I've been meaning to contact you. You can tell, look how excited I am to talk to you. I'm usually not this bad at this, where I'm like, I would have just called you already. And even you just tagged me in a post the other day for Tattoo McFoley. Let's hope we get that at some point. Never give up! He'll do it. He'll do it one day. It's too funny. Like, it's too good a tattoo. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That was some good jams. This is a 3-hour copyright-free soundtracky thing. My man, the almighty. My man, Bobby Lashley. It's so funny. I was hoping Leo Rush showed back up. I liked that. Just turns out he's a bit of a douche, right? But then not, because they didn't fire him, and then they made him like some shit, the Cruiserweight champion. right? Something like that. It's funny when someone's a total jerk, but then they get rewarded in a way for doing a thing when people think they're about to get punished like so bad, and then they're like, oh, they made him the champion. Like, oh, you'd think this would have made that not happen or something. I think like Alberto Del Rio maybe. But I don't know if he was guilty of being a monster when he was still with them. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hairy lines. And that's just a black door. The forbidden door. How good was, and if you didn't watch it, try to watch it, anyone, anywhere. Chris Jericho on the Stone Cold podcast. How crazy. How much did you pop when you saw that? When you saw that he's going to be on there, and how did you find out? Because I found out with that smoking skull that was doing the countdown. I'm like, what is this? Like, wait, this sound? What's this sound? I know this sound from... and then his little smirk. So good, Chris Jericho. I loved it. They did a great job. They didn't shy away from anything, and they also didn't overdo it. Okay? Ridiculous. Something I hope they do that just to make Meltzer look like a tool. Sometimes I hope they do that just to make Meltzer look like a tool. Because F that dude. Sometimes you do what? Pronouns, pal. Sometimes I hope they do what? Like that thing where they did the crossover? Oh, look, that says help wanted. It says cooks wanted in this sign. I'll even make that a little bigger. That's funny. Do. Now this is an intricate little fence. Right? Did I do that? Yes. Not fence, but like gate. Does it go in front of the door a smidge? It goes in front of this door. Not by that much, though. It actually really comes to here. Do. Give me an answer. Give me your answer. Because I'm a curious. To whatever the hell I just asked you. I think I forgot. No, I remember. This is a good station, I gotta say. That's what I was saying. What did you think of there? Oh, I knew he was writing it. So weird that he was so smart there, because on everything else he does, he's so full of himself. I love Austin got to a part of Jericho's head that he won't go on his own. It's true. Between his books and his podcast interviews, Austin was tasked with giving us more that we haven't heard. I meant rewarding guys with perceived heat with championships. Meltzer. Okay. Gotcha. Makes sense. That was a whole topic ago. I'd already forgotten I brought that up. So that makes sense. So I think with Austin, I think it was different because he was certainly appreciative. He's definitely had a bit of a chip on his shoulder for other things because he has something to prove with AEW, right? A lot of those stories, I've heard some of those stories the same. Obviously, you've heard those stories. I've heard that Brownie story 100 times. I've heard his, they did the 1004 holds. Like that's like one of his greatest hits. I was surprised at some of the things they did show, like later on, like how they jumped to 2016 so quick with like glossing over like the code, the code when he came back with the code and the code breaker and the short hair, and then changing from that to the next thing and changing from that, like I'm surprised I didn't go through a few more iterations of him, but also was good to hear him. There's a part of me that hopes and wishes and hopes that like Kevin Owens or Chris Jericho like contacted the other one after that aired and was like, hey man, like you're rad, like just want to let you know if Chris Jericho's like, if you didn't catch the pod, like I talked about you a lot, I just appreciate our friendship, or vice versa, if they don't talk as much as they do, because they had a good run together and they really were so funny, and he did put him over a lot, like he really did. And even the other things, like who's a future Hall of Famer, favorite tag team partners, that was just in the quick baloney like lead up videos, the little promo videos for that podcast. So I thought that was cool. But I really did. You got to give, and he was right to even say, we got to thank Vince, but also we got to thank Tony Khan. He got to say yes too. And I'm like, that's right. I'm sure that the odds of him saying no were zero, but they really did a good job and were classy. He didn't overdo it with AEW at all. it was so natural how they talked about that, actually. And Kenny Omega and Japan. Like, it really was. They got right into it, and then they started at the beginning and got back up to it. And I thought that was actually a pretty good way to do it, you know? Because they didn't keep you waiting with all that. They got right to it, so you knew that all this stuff was legit and on the line for topics, what we're going to talk about here tonight, you know? So, pretty great. You know, hearing about him getting taken off of Saudi Arabia was interesting, you know? Because with everyone else so far, like, it seems like he might not have ended on the best terms with Vince, but did, because you hear that everyone is on good terms with him for business. Big Show's like, he called me up, wish me luck. You know, he's not upset if anyone wants to go there. He just is that way about that. Always was with certain things and certain people, right? Like, and you know, and that's the thing. Well, again, so that makes sense. It seemed like Jericho had his guard down in a way that he doesn't even have on his own pod. Because you know what? He's playing Jericho on his pod. Like, he's Jericho. He has to get it. He is that. He's also the host. Let me tell you, I'm a much different guest than I am a host, because you are. And especially if you're the guest and it's even about you. You know? On his own pod, he's not always talking about the biography of his life. And if he is, he's having to justify why he's talking about it at that moment, or if he's repeating himself. You know, it's just different, I think. Because I get that. As a host, this is completely different than if you were asking me a bunch of questions and I just had to follow up and I didn't have to create the topics or keep things moving or any of that. Because it's different when you're on, you know? I like what I do because I'm ready to go with anyone. Like, look how I am. Oh, Marge is here. Look at this. You basically gave me a lot to talk about this whole thing. But before we got here, we were going pretty good. Like, because whatever. But I'm very easy to adapt. And the more the merrier, because it's just a party, right? Some people can't do that at all. Everything's so prepared. How much do you prepare for your show, Marsh? Because it's pretty complex. And do you sit and take, because you know what my favorite show is, and now it's coming to an end actually, for wrestling entertainment that's not made by the wrestlers and shit like that, is the Cultaholic group. I love the Cultaholic guys. They always just got me. I thought they were so funny. Like, I love Ross, right? And then they left What Culture, which I kind of despise What Culture. And I never liked that other Adam, so when he even got rid of him, that was great. But I love how those groups always kind of got along and even did co-stuff together. Them and Wrestle Talk did stuff together and whatever. But I like Cultaholic. I like Ross. But now Ross and WTF Moments, it's like the views aren't here anymore. So we're going to stop doing our weekly reviews for Raw, SmackDown, and AEW. And he's even like, and I apologize. I don't know what I did different. That's whatever. But these aren't. We'll still do the pay-per-views. And we'll still do these other ones, but we're not doing WTF Weekly anymore. And what he would do is, he would watch it twice. He'd have to watch Raw twice, which you can tell is a nightmare to do. I think he'd watch it on like 1.5 speed a little bit, because, you know, a lot of it's just wrestling and just commentary, so who cares? Especially when it's the second go-around. But because he's got to listen and just take notes about who screwed up, when they screwed up, what they said, the whole time, and then watches again to make sure he kind of doesn't miss any. So as you watch the show, are you taking notes? Are you know, because by the end of the show the other night, I didn't even remember what happened with the Fiend, but people were asking me on the show, well, what was your favorite match from WrestleMania Night 1? I'm like, I don't remember what I looked at tonight, because I didn't have a note, I didn't have a card, and I would have had it, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. You know how it is. But like, so that's the thing. Like, if I was doing a wrestling show, I would prep. I'd write down every match that happened, obviously, so I know what matches we're talking about. You know, I'd write down if anything happened on commentary specifically. So I would have a notepad while I was watching, probably, to make sure of some of the highlight stuff, maybe the specific things I wouldn't want to forget to say. But maybe that's it. But it would definitely affect the way I watched the show. That's why I don't live tweet with the show. When that happened, I was trying to do it. And you're looking down, typing, you're trying to be clever. And then you realize you missed the last half of the match because you're trying to write one tweet. And that's dumb. And then, you know, like, I remember do you remember when they did fantasy booking? Where they had the fantasy game that you earn points? Do you remember that time in wrestling? It was the best. Where they were trying to do fantasy WWE. A chair shot was this many points. A disqualification was minus a point. If they appeared on camera, it was this point. If they appeared in camera, anytime there was a commercial break, that's a different segment. So you would be able to stack points. Like if that person was in 4 segments, that's 4 points, right? Or, 4 times 4, 16. Because like an appearance is worth this much. If they win a match, it's worth this. If they lose a match, it's worth that. Blah, 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 right? Well, the very first week they did it, I was number 7 in the nation. Boom! That's right. Of everyone playing that game. And my screen name was on Raw. I wish they'd shout out. I wish it was a better screen name. It was Damn Smooth Frankensteiner. Far too long a screen name that I used to use, or an email, right? So that was my name. So I didn't call it out, but it was on there, right? So it was great. But when I was watching it back then, I realized that I was now not watching Raw for the story and for the show as much as I was now only hoping someone showed up, someone used a chair, someone this, someone that. And it was starting to really get in the way. So after a few weeks of that, like I played it for a while, and then, it's not like I was not in the top 10 pretty quick. And then it's done. And I'm not going to do this anymore because you know what? It's ruining me just watching the show. The same way that watching the show with a friend adds to the show, as opposed to you just making fun of it yourself or whatever. Watching it and trying to tweet or trying to watch it for different reasons and watching it for notes or reviews, I know is going to affect my entire overall enjoyment of the product, dare I say. Right? So, Marsh, I feel better when I write notes while I watch everything. Most days I just rewatch the oldest show right before I go live, and I pull up a results card to remind me. But I feel better when I just jot down quips during each segment. Yeah, okay. So the same thing. I just want to know what's going on. I just need to know the results mainly, so I know what's going on and what happened. I don't want to write down material. I don't when you say write down quips. What do you mean? I don't write down material. I like that stuff just kind of be on the fly. If I happen to think of something funny the night before, the funniest thing my friend Marsh in the live stream said this. Ha ha ha. I'll be try and jot that down, maybe remember that. But that's really it. I don't know how much I would enjoy doing the weekly thing because I don't know if it would affect my overall enjoyment of what I'm looking at. And that said, wrestling's a lot different these days. I do sit on the phone while I'm on wrestling, when I'm watching wrestling, and I'll be on Facebook. I'll draw. It's hard for me to sit and just watch the show. They got to earn these eyes because, man, and I don't fast forward because I don't like to fast forward just in case something happens. But I'll draw while there's some boring match on. I'll just draw. I will groan through a Baron Corbin promo oh, God, what are you even saying? You're terrible. But I won't just fast forward it. So that's that's kind of the thing that I think I'm talking about too, is I watch the whole show, but I'll do laundry while I'm doing it. I'll be folding clothes. I can't just sit and look at it anymore because it doesn't grip you as much as it used to. It just doesn't. It can't. It just doesn't. But whatever. I'm not picking on the wrestling. It's just different now. It is what it is. Alrighty, Roo. What is this thing doing? I got a lot of weird shapes going on there. Oh, it's because that is a lot of weird shapes. This does do this. This is where this goes in, and so does this. So this is this. Where it bends like that, and then this might... I'm not sure what this does. This might just go to the top. There's just some hangy stuff in the way, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. Try and zoom in and see what the hell it's hanging up there. I don't even know. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Varies. Charlotte said she will no longer be so humble. Can't recall her being so humble before. Or New Day killed it. Great Brody references. See that? Yeah. That's a note. That's not like a joke. Okay? AJ takes himself too seriously as a bit, and it's hysterical. Yeah, those are notes. Those are notes. That's not, full material, for sure. Absolutely. And you know what? It's good. That's a good note. Because you're writing down your feelings as well. And the next day, you might have stubbed your toe, and it might be raining and whatever. So next day, you might be like, oh yeah, and there was AJ and whatever, and he was doing that thing. So, and then you might completely forget or be like, I thought it was funny. Like you might just say, I thought it was funny that we did this, blah, 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 blah. But you writing down like at the time, like I wrote down this was hysterical. I remember it actually made me laugh out loud because. So you remind yourself that you thought it was hysterical, you know? Oh, Robert Gibson hanging out, giving me that AM alert, hanging out till 4 a.m. What an animal. What an animal. I'm going to try and start doing these things even earlier, Rob. You have no idea because that's some of the reason. That's some of the reason why I got to get some of this East Coast attention. Let me give you some love, Rob. My goodness. Woo! I almost lost my steam. I almost lost my steam there. My goodness. Yo, Rob, give me a toot toot. Toot toot, Rob. Thanks for hanging out. You're the best. That means a lot. You know, Philly's still New York time. That East Coast. East Coast. All right? I love Philly. My parents lived in Philly for quite some time. Now they're back on the LI. All right? That's a good time. Thanks for hanging out as long as you did. Dropping that Japanese wrestling knowledge, Mr. Gibson is. My goodness. My goodness. Sleep well, sir. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. I love it. Right? Where am I at? Where am I at time-wise on this thing? 2:59:45. That means we're going to hit that 3-hour mark. My goodness. Let's celebrate with this delicious treat that I have here. Talia's mom gave me a carrot cake cupcake that's homemade. I'm going to take a big bite of it now. 3 hours. That deserves a treat for us all. That deserves a treat for us all. That is really good. Talia, I love it. Oh, my word. I was trying to make it messy and funny, but it's just delicious. Oh, well. Toot toot. Getting it back from Robert, getting that love. That's what I love. That's what I love to see. Boom! Oh, Marsh goes, from time to time, I've written a joke specifically based off something said, but yeah, not usually like full-on joke, like a good pun. Good pun has to be written down. Yep, because that's memory king. The thing about stuff like that is it's good to be a broadcaster. It's good to be able to, some of my friends said to me, and like begrudging, is like, you're good live. He's like, you've got that going for you. You're good live, you know? And I do have that going for me. But when you are doing something like this, it is sometimes like when I do my show, when I do my other show, I would write down I just look at my week because it's a weekly review of what I do. I'd be able to just look back at the calendar of what I did. What am I talking about pod this week? Let's just talk about what I did. What did I do this week? Oh, that's right, I went to the zoo. Oh, that's right, we did this, we did that. So that's how I'd be like, I just write zoo, you know? Because I found that if I didn't write down some topics, like there was something I want to say, I will be thinking there's something I want to say 10 minutes before, and I'm trying to come up with it, which means whatever I'm talking about, I know is now janky, you know, because I'm not just free thought. So things that you want to definitely not forget to say, like a certain, absolutely, I'll do that. Even when we do our Scrooge bits, because those are all improv, but I'll write down that I have to say that I bought the tuna factory because it's a joke about the canning process, whatever it is. I have to make that part has to happen. And blah, 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 whatever will happen. You remember when I bought that tuna can factory because I love the canning process, whatever. I would just have that tuna can factory written down on the floor so I know I made that because I referenced it in another episode. So same idea, bullet points is the way to do it. So that's awesome because I'm not much of a prepper, especially with the wrestling, but I think if I was trying to pay attention to it every week, it might get in the way. But again, some of my deal is the positivity. So even on mine, I would just be writing down the biggest highlights of the thing, not worried about the lowlights. You know, I'll tell you, someone else could maybe make a show that was all the lowlights I didn't include, and they could piggyback off of what I'm doing, ride my coattails. And I mean some stranger. Imagine this works like my positivity podcast goes. Yeah, that sounds like New Day stuff. But my positivity wrestling thing works. So then someone goes like, he didn't mention the Fiend thing. He didn't mention when what's her name slipped. He didn't mention this was WrestleMania thing. So someone's going to do the things I leave out purposely, right? The negativity one. They'll just call it the opposite and do all the negs. And I'd be like, bravo. Get in where you fit in. Okay? Yeah, well, let me tell you this much. I found out at the radio station that a lot of people at the radio station, they would write their breaks. They would type them out on Notepad, The 15 minutes that they were off air, they would type out what they're going to say for their break, right? And then be ready and then read it. And I was like, really? And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe some of them would do this because it was almost all of them. And I thought you just come up with it, right? Now, the copy for a commercial, you have to read verbatim, right? Or no, you don't, actually. I didn't have to read it verbatim. But there are points, you have to say this, you have to say this, you have to say this, right? But I used to make up all my own stuff, right? So they're doing that too. They're making up their own stuff, but they're typing it out. They're not making it up on the fly, right? Whereas I'm going to do a promo, and it's all about WWE's coming to town, right? So you know me, I'd be like, oh, you know what's coming, brother. What's coming? WWE, there's absolutely nothing better. Ooh, yeah. I wasn't allowed to do voices, but I was allowed to do Macho Man a little bit. Ooh, yeah. Do that, right? I'd be like, all you got to know is that they're coming to the Civic Center and they're going to be at this. Is Charlotte Flair going to be able to beat Paige? Is Sheamus going to get his retribution on Retribution? Is John Cena even going to be visible? Who knows? We can't see him even when he's there. But you know that it's going to be on November 29th. They'll be at the TCC. Tickets start at $10 and blah, 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 blah. I'll see you there, and that's the bottom line. And all that. Just like I made all that up. That's good for me, right? And you can't be more than a minute. So that was what I would do. I was shocked at how many people couldn't do this. Even I tried to do a podcast with someone else. Oh my God. I've never heard someone say so much and say so little. And I would say that to my friends. I would watch them back and be like, watch this. Watch this segment between me and so-and-so. And then it would be 4 minutes. It was like 5 minutes. And it would be on the next topic. I'm like, did she say anything? Anything of substance? And I'd be like, wow, no, she didn't. It would always be like, yeah, fun. That's fun. Because, you know, people love it. Isn't it great? And these are all positive things. Usually it was negative. Like, there were just these empty little things. I'm like, what else do you think? Oh, well, you know, blah, blah. I mean, video games are great. I'm like, yeah, video games are great. What a drop in. Good drop in. You know, like, most people really need to prepare, right? And again, even when I prepare, I'm better, right? And I know certain times when I'm unprepared how it'll stumble me up. But that is the thing. Like, know how good you are. And again, here's the thing. Exo Bro already, he's the one that named this. He calls it verbal diarrhea. It's one of my superpowers. That's what I'm able to do. Blah, blah, blah. Just go on and on and on and on and on. When you're on stage, I found out it's called vamping, right? The guy at Hotel Congress, I went on this whole rant and a half about Woodstock and got mushy. And it was one of those things that feels like it's going to be an eye roller. And then I brought it around and made it this nice thing about community and how we're all here. And I got the big round of applause of everyone really delighted with what I said. And then he just shakes his head and goes, way to vamp, Powers, way to vamp. I'm like, what is that? What? Vamping. That's what that's called. You don't know what vamp... You do it all the time. That's what vamping is. I'm like, oh. It's being able to just go and do that thing, right? That's what it is. So vamping. I'm good at that. Good at keeping the ball rolling, right? I hate silence. I hate silence. So I'm even good at talking to myself on this thing, right? Hell yeah. Where was I? Was I doing anything else? Because I popped back on to bid a fond farewell to Rob before he disappeared. All right. And Robert Gibson, is he the Midnight Express? I'm gonna look it up. I feel like he is. Right? Who's Robert Gibson in? Corny talks about all the time. Robert Gibson, wrestler. Let's go. There he is. That's right. The Rock and Roll Express. That's right. I knew Robert Gibson was part of the Rock and Roll Express. I knew it. Marsh knew it too. Ding, ding. We know what's going on. I just didn't get validated on before. I was pretty sure, but then I wasn't sure. Robert Gibson. Just hanging out talking about wrestling with Robert Gibson. What a good time. No one will know. No one will know. He was absolutely in the Rock and Roll Express. Ha ha ha! So funny. So good. Remote control. There's my remote control here. You move all the buttons around. But what was I doing? Was I doing this? I got the roof. I got those done. Got this, got that. Move that around. I'll tell you what, boys. I think it's time to call it an evening. I think it's time to put this one in the books. I think it's time to put this guy to bed. I think so. Not me. I'm going to be up doing some other stuff. It's 1:15. it's a Tuesday. I don't know. Do you watch NXT? I haven't watched NXT in a long time. But they moved to Tuesdays now. Let's hope that works out for everyone involved, because I only want wrestling to succeed. So I don't know what I'm going to do into. We'll see. But let me done with this. 3 hours of work and a draw, and I feel really good. I was in a miserable mood before I started. You have no idea. And yet again, not super miserable, but again, like, just getting out of the block. So how's NXT? Okay, how's NXT? Because I hear lots of good things and I hear lots of bad things, but I really don't trust Corny on his actual opinions of certain stuff, because I watch every single week, right? So I watch WWE every week, and then he'll drop in for a pay-per-view, right? And I don't care who you are, any wrestling critic, any critic of anything, that is watching the thing and goes, and then that's when I fast-forwarded through it, and blah, blah, blah. Or they say, I think Meltzer will do this. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I read the result. Like, or his co-host will do that. Like, no. Like, terrible. Okay? Months ago, watched the Wet Bar Revolution pay-per-view. Revolution, AEW, yep, they got me at Revolution. They got a lot of people at Revolution, and then they did not deliver. And that was a big opportunity to deliver, right? And they did not deliver. But the way Corny talks about WWE, and I watch every week, and he doesn't know what's going on. What is Otis? Well, I don't get this. Otis and Mandy. But Otis and Mandy Rose was the best story of last year, even up to WrestleMania. Then he kisses the girl. I love it. Wins Money in the Bank. I loved Otis. I loved Superface Otis, right? Okay? Lots of good matches on NXT, because he's just so full of crap about NXT, where he stopped watching it, and I'm willing to bet he actually stopped watching it because it was good. That's what I think. Because he's full of crap. It's the reason that the WTF moments didn't make fun of NXT was because it was too good. But they'll make fun of AEW, right? And that was back in the day, like, NXT used to really be balling. So NXT now, I see lots of good things. I see and hear lots of good things. So again, you can't trust Cornette on that stuff. When it comes specifically reviewing things, he's right about AEW to some degree, because I share his overall opinion on some independent wrestling. It's very hard. I can't watch a guy kick out of a gunshot and then, oh, my signature DDT though got him. Give me a break. Like, I know they do talk about it. They do talk about it with such, even though they literally explained it. Yes! Well said. Thank you, Marsh. Thank you very much. That's obnoxious. That's obnoxious. They do talk with a lot of just as if they are so correct. Like, it's them and no one else. Bah. But it's ridiculous. So, like, that's the whole thing about it, is that, no. Like, you gotta watch every week. I might be doing some laundry, but I know what's happening. And I know that that's why I enjoy wrestling a lot more than my friends. I'm watching, some of my friends that watch wrestling with me at WrestleMania, they're like, I haven't watched since the last time I had. I'm like, what? This match was dumb. That doesn't make, I'm like, why did you stop watching this one? It all makes perfect sense. You aren't watching it. Like, even there's so many subtle things. There's a lot of subtle things, Like, yeah, it's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. Is when they like things. It's true. Like, I like when they can put something over. He put over a Kenny Omega match for the first time. Goodness, what a treat for us all. But anyway. Oh, but now it's irresistible. I was about to wrap it up. But you watch one episode every 4 months. Breaking Bad makes no sense. I know. That's all I said. I tell that to people. I'm like, this is WrestleMania. Some girl was there. She's like, I'm just not feeling as excited. I don't know why. I'm like, you have to watch wrestling to care about the show. I'm like, let me just open to the last page of this book. Boy, this Harry Potter, I don't know why anyone likes it. Like, I don't understand how you can, I'm going to watch the last episode of the show and judge it. People do that with Breaking Bad, too. Because they got to be on the bandwagon. People just watch the Super Bowl. People just watch, there's every level of it, right? I just watched the Super Bowl. I love the Super Bowl. I'm not going to pretend that I'm some sort of aficionado on their defensive plan and their plays. Oh, they should be throwing more. They should be this. I don't understand why they keep running the ball. They have the #1 running game in the league, let alone the last 20-year decade. 20 years, the last 2 decades. Oh, well then I guess maybe they should run it. Like, right. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Exactly. So, I can't stand when people do that. Part of me just noticed and likes numbers, so I was like, maybe we could end the show on 316. Right? Maybe that's what I do. ended in the 316 because I like my numbers. Oh hell, oh yeah! I gotta move this microphone again because then I like to sit back. I like to sit back a little bit. Reason Corny's better about AEW is because he's actually watching. It's true. He doesn't actually watch any WWE and then pipes in for pipes up for a pay-per-view, and then that's it. Watches a Raw segment that went viral. Oh, I watched the most negative thing on Twitter this week. I'm a jerk. Let's make fun of it. And he's there to be insipid. Like, that's what he's doing. That's his whole gimmick. It's great. You know? Ow, I hurt my knee. But that's what he's doing. It's great. I love it. It's fun. You know? And sometimes, again, just because I don't want to make a show that's all about the toxicity and the BS and all that crap, that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy watching that stuff. Again, everyone's favorite characters are, I heard this on some, everyone's favorite character is the asshole. That's just what it is. Everyone likes Oscar the Grouch. I always say Strong Bad is the reason you go to homestarwinner.com. Everyone likes the jerk. Everyone likes the wise ass. That's the thing. That's the most popular character. Cartman is the most popular character, right? Okay? Like all of South Park. Bart Simpson was a wise ass. Everyone likes the jerk, right? That's the idea. So I get it. I get that everyone likes to make fun of things. I don't watch Botchamania, all of it. I like it, but I can't watch all of Botchamania because sometimes I'm just like, leave them alone. Like, just stop. Like, it's too much. It's just too much. Sometimes it is funny, but sometimes I just feel so bad for some people, some of these indie people that fall and embarrass themselves and humiliate themselves. It's like people that laugh at a girl when she screws up the national anthem and it goes viral. You're laughing at a little girl who screwed up the national anthem? That brought me to tears watching someone screw up and cry. Like, oh my God, go help her and support her. My goodness, that's what you got to do. Anyway, it's tough. I'll still watch a Botchamania from time to time. The endings are the best. Speaking of Simpsons and the endings and all that. So it is Tuesday. I don't know if they got a Botchamania done by now. They might have. I think I saw some screenshots with some terrible fonts in front of them and Botchamania stuff. We'll see. But maybe I'll go check some of that out. I do love the endings. Some of the funniest stuff ever, right? This room talk about what's good and why and not have to ignore everything. It's true. Bring up negative and affect our mood and why. It's a good point. All right? But you don't got to let's not harp on it, right? Sometimes we just say it's not worth talking about because if you want, I say sometimes not worth talking about because if you want that, you can go to every other podcast to go bag on this. I don't care. You're right. Not the best segment. Let's move on. And that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to do on my positive wrestling. So we'll see. Oh, but oh, hell yeah, there it is. There's the 316. Check your beeper when you see that. You know your ass belongs to me. That's right. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to hang out again. I'm going to end it a little toward the end because these streams seem to cut out some of this time. So I'll end it right before 317. See if I can nail it so it says it's 316. That's what we're doing here. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I love it. How fun was it to hang out, Marsh? People don't realize that they can hang out like this, and it's hanging out with a friend, right? And now we're even more likely to hang out and do some things together. More people got to get online on these different platforms. But either way, I love you, Zol. I love you too. Exo Bro, you're the best.